everyone, welcome to Mad Git Radio episode number 2. My name's Andrew and I'm joined as ever by...
I'm Paul. Hope everyone's having a good time.
How you doing, Paul?
I'm alright, man. Just getting everything ready for Siege, tidying everything up. Yep, looking forward to it. The last push now until the weekend.
I know, so as we are recording, today is Monday the 23rd. So we have 5 days to go. How's the painting things going?
Good. Everything's painted. Just working on the camp. So a couple of nights and then everything will be done. I think it's looking good. Don't want to blow my own horn, but
I'll be winning that award.
Yeah, that award's as good as mine. No, I think it's actually turned out really well considering it started life as like foam from a can. So.
Do you want to
pretty happy.
Talk through the kind of idea behind your camp? Without giving too much away, of course.
For those of you that remember, I play Warriors, so I've basically gone with your quintessential kind of slaughter, torture kind of scene that you might expect to stumble across if you were in a Warriors camp. Most of it's kind of made from bits and pieces left over from sprues, and I've got a couple of minis on there as well that look quite good. So yeah, quite happy with it. Awesome. What about you?
Yeah, everything's kind of done now. I got a new prelate model for my general because the way I'd been running them before, as you know, is I basically just had like monk-looking guys for prelates, and they didn't look very intimidating when it's meant to be your general. So I bought this awesome figure from Last Sword Miniatures, which is basically a bishop in full armor, and he looks pretty badass. So he's now finished. And
yeah, he looks good. It's a cool miniature.
I'm pretty happy with the way he's come out. I think he looks very cool. And because I was a little bit concerned, because most of my Empire stuff is Perry, as you know, and I was a bit concerned about the sizing, but now he's all painted and based. I was mucking about with him earlier on, just put him in the unit and seeing what he looks like, and he looks absolutely fine. Yeah, he actually just looks like taller and more intimidating than the rest of them. So
yeah, looks really beefy. It looks like he can handle himself.
It doesn't look like I kind of put in a Games Workshop miniature in it, because you know how they've got like bigger hands and faces and that, they just look out of place, whereas his proportions are about the same as the Perry's. It's just he's taller and he's got bulkier armor on, so yeah,
he does stand out, but he's not like you say, he's not like WTG and the kind of proportions and stuff. He does look really cool.
Yeah. And the camp's all finished as well. That was finished basing, and the peasants are all done because obviously you painted half and I painted half, and they're all based now, so
yeah, they look really good. I think we're going to have some pretty cool pictures from the tournament between the camps, peasants, and the river, and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So if you are listening to this and you want to follow Siege on Saturday, we will be uploading pictures, etc. to Twitter with the hashtag Siege17. If you want to follow along, because we'll try and keep that busy with photos and updates and any ridiculousness that occurs along the way.
Siege on Saturday is actually a really good name.
Siege on Saturday.
It's like a kind of regular
alliteration opportunity. God damn it. So the main topic of the show today is, unsurprisingly, Siege, and we have all the lists in. We have checked them not once but twice. No one
still got stuff wrong.
Yep, still got stuff wrong. No, but no one cheated. It's all good. Everyone's paid. Everyone's registered. So the only thing we've got left to do is do the pairings, which we will do at the end of the show, and go through all the lists. So we'll just get stuck in it, I think. That's good with you?
Absolutely.
So the way we're going to do it is, if you don't know, all the lists have been deposited into a Dropbox file. Anyone can access that via the 9-page form if you go into the Siege of Strivelyn page. And what we're going to do is we're just going to work through them in alphabetical order, and it's gone in alphabetical from people's first names. So essentially we're just working it down the way that they pop up on the Dropbox. Which means that our first list is Andrew Karen. So
our first dwarven list.
Yeah, before we do Andrew's list and all the dwarves, we should just say that at the end we had a few people drop out, which was unfortunate, but can't really do anything about that. So we ended up with 19 players in total. That means that there are 6 teams of 3, and we've got 1 reserve player. And I think we should let everyone know that Paul and I were vying for that reserve spot, and moments before recording, we got my lovely girlfriend in for an assistant, and she rolled the dice until one of our numbers came up, and the gods have decided that it will be me disgracing Mad Git Radio on Saturday, and Paul will be taking the place of reserve player and key coordinator on the day, because I'll be too busy getting pumped.
Pulling your hair out.
Yeah, probably.
Failing leadership checks.
Left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
So, without any further ado, how about we just dive in? So, first list is Andrew Cowan with Dwarven Holds.
Yeah. So, will we run through the characters just to start?
You want to run through?
Yeah. So, Andrew's general is a king. He's got shield bearers, so he's mounted. He's got a rune of iron, 3 runes of shielding, mounts protection from the shield bearers, obviously. Comes with plate, and he's rocking with a great weapon for 480 points. So what do you think of that?
I hate dwarves.
So what's that quite a concise comment?
Yeah, I mean, I particularly noticed. I think just because organising and having to go through the lists, having to remember what all the runes do. So I think it might be helpful to
that's it.
To say in layman's terms what all those runes mean for Andy's king. So the way I worked out, you can correct me if I'm wrong. So Andy's king is on the shield bearer, so he's got 4 wounds. He is a 1-up armor, a 4-up ward, and he's got the great weapon. And because he's on the shield bearers, he has D3+1 grudges. Is that legit?
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, sure.
Like I say, I'm the same with the dwarf lists. Like, I obviously don't play the army, and I'm just kind of lost when I see runes because they don't really mean anything. They just seem to have a ridiculous number of runes, and the names never really seem to kind of match up to what they represent.
There's the easy ones like Rune of Iron and Rune of Shielding, but then when it gets to like Rune of Mountains and Dragon Breath and stuff like that, kind of just gotta guess.
And it's just, some of the names, they're not necessarily, you don't necessarily associate them with the category that they're in. So for me, there's some runes I think, oh, that must be a weapon rune, and it's not, it's something else. And so I can never find it in the book to even check. What was it you said about shield bearers? What did you think?
Shield bearers give him +1 wound. So he's got 4 wounds.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, he's on 4 wounds. Yeah.
So 4 wounds, toughness 5. So he's gone pretty tanky for the king. 1-up, 4-up. Yeah, he's just dwarf kings are just a nightmare, and he's got enough attacks that in challenges and things like that, it's just going to be a bit of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I would say though he's not overly ridiculous. Like he's 480 points. I mean, he could spend a lot more points on him if he wanted, but he does have quite a few characters though, so he's had to spread his points out. Compared to some of the other lists, how they're running kings, I'd say this build is fairly conservative.
Yeah, and it's
but he's still
it's a statement that this is pretty conservative, and he's still a 1-up, 4-up. Great.
Yeah, his weapon skill 7, strength 6.
Or 4 wounds, sorry.
He's is he toughness 5?
He's toughness 5. Yeah, the kings are toughness 5 standard.
Leadership 10.
Actually. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Kind of standard king though, just a pain in the ass to deal with. He will just, if you challenge him out, he's just going to plug away at whoever you threw in against him. But he does the job, and he's hard to kill, so standard.
And then he's got a Thane, who's the base B with a Holdstone. He's got 2 runes of iron. He's got the rune of shielding. He's got the rune of smashing, and just the shield.
Okay, I'm going to amaze you with my dwarven knowledge right now. Okay.
Go on then, hit me.
Okay, so rune of iron, innate defense, right? So he's got 2 of them.
Yep.
So he's got 5 up innate defense. Right. Rune of shielding is +1 to your ward save, so he's got 6 up ward. Rune of smashing is +1 strength.
No, that's rune of might, isn't it?
Shit, so close.
Smashing, that's your strength 10 versus anything that's toughness 5 or better.
Ah, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, cool.
This would be a good drinking game, actually.
We should have. Oh man, we missed
just calling out runes, and if you get it wrong, you've got to drink.
By the time we get to Tim's list at the bottom, would be paralytic.
And that's very dwarfy.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
So I don't even think that's like a derogatory suggestion. I think that's totally in keeping with the fluff. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think of that then?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, he's cheap. He's 346 points. And what did we say he had for a ward save?
He has a 6-up ward save.
So you'll get a 4-up when he's charged, because he's got Shield Wall, which gives you +1 to your ward save, and then an additional +1 when you're charged.
I always forget about that. The Shield Wall.
Yeah. If you're running, take a shield. I mean...
Yeah, there's no point not to.
Yeah.
So good.
So he's got a 5-up ward base, because that stacks with Shield Wall.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really
we should
good,
also say right now in the podcast that we will say things about people's lists, and there'll be people that play this army, and they'll be shaking their heads going, no, that's wrong.
Yeah, don't think that we know what we're talking about. Probably a healthy attitude to take into this podcast.
Yeah, this is just fun. So, third character, he's got a Runic Smith. He's got the Rune of Dragon's Breath. He's got the Rune of Gleaming, the Rune of Resilience, the Rune of Reckoning, and a shield. So he comes in at just under 300 points. So he's 299.
Okay, right. Do you want to pop at this one?
In terms of what the kit means.
Yeah, go on.
Right, he's got a 3-up armor.
Yes.
He's got plate and a shield.
Yep.
He's got the breath attack, which is strength 4.
Yep.
Which is playing magical damage. And then 3 ruins that he's got. They're the bound spells. So he's got hard target and distracting.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1. He can cast -1 to wound.
Yep.
As a hex. And he's got the augment the rerolls to hit as well.
Well done, Paul. Well done. Yeah. I think that for 300 points is
It's a bargain.
pretty good, yeah. I mean,
So that's pretty solid.
You've got the issue when it's bound spells and you've only got 3 of them, that you might struggle to get them off. But I think all 3 are good, so they're kind of like prelates in that way, that all 3 are good, so the chances are that all 3 will be useful, and your opponent will probably only be able to stop 2 out of the 3 if you play your dice well. So you're going to get 1 through, and out of them, you're picking the least that's going to hurt you.
Yeah, they're all useful.
Yep.
For 300 points, that's like amazing. I think most armies would dream about being able to field a caster for that price. I mean, he's got a 3-up armor, and he'll have a 5-up ward with a shield when he's charged.
Unit AP 1, and he'll have magic resistance 1 as well, which he gives the unit.
Yeah, and he's your caster. He can also dispel, right?
He can, yeah. He counts as a wizard master for dispel as well.
Yeah, so he's your magical defense.
Yeah, he's just really good.
For 300 points,
really good.
Which is really. He's only strength 4, toughness 4. He's not there to do damage, but for what he's there to do, he's cheap. He's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that build.
Okay, thumbs up for him then.
And then next character, he's got a Dragon Seeker, and this guy is horrible when you can't shoot him off the table. So he's 410 points, and with all of his kit that he's got, all these runes and stuff. Right, hold on, let me just bring this up again. So he's got Grim Resolve, Rune of Fury, Rune of Might, Rune of Precision, and paired weapons. So do you know what that means in layman terms, in non-dwarf speak?
I've actually got a question about this one.
Go for it.
Because the Dragon Seeker comes with a great weapon as well.
He does, Weapon Master, right?
Yeah, so I take it the weapon runes aren't limited to that weapon.
Well, on his list that was submitted, he specifically stated paired weapons. So I'm assuming that it might, but I don't know. This is the type of question you probably ask when we're not recording, so that we don't sound like idiots.
I thought you would know.
No, I really don't. I've noticed on one of the other Dwarven lists that they also specifically stated that they wanted their character to have a great weapon. Is it the Vengeance Seekers? They have Weapon Master, so they can have paired weapons and great weapons. And I think they specifically stated great weapons, but then they're not taking runes on their characters, so then I don't know why you would need to.
See, this is it. Like, for Andy's characters, but also the Dragon Seeker, there's no point in taking the great weapon. You're already so many attacks at initiative 6.
Yeah. So he's, with everything that he's got, he's basically weapon skill 7, strength 6, toughness 5, initiative 5, 8+ attacks maximum, with all the buffs that he gets, at leadership 10. Now he's only got a 6-up ward, so like I say, he's got no regal protection, but if he's in a unit that can at least get him to where he wants to be, and he can just charge out.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. He +1 to hit as well, so weapon skill 7, +1 to hit, he's going to be hitting everything on 2s. It's pretty good.
Yeah, he is nasty.
And then final character at 140 points is just a regular engineer, and he's just got a shield. So he's just there for engineering purposes.
Yeah, he's probably just going to be chilling out by the volley gun, the organ gun, sorry. And he'll probably just be... Yeah. I found this with the Artificer for the Empire as well. They're actually quite good just to have around your war machines, because it means you can maybe chaff something up that's going to get your war machine, give you another turn of shooting.
Yeah, I mean, he's cheap. He's only 164 points, so...
Yeah, and he's got the Forge Repeater. The Forge Repeater is good, so even stuff like an Eagle, if an Eagle gets too close to your war machines, you just rat-a-tat-tat.
Yeah,
fried chicken
that's
for
true.
everyone.
Is that right? How many points is he? Is 164?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. I think I said his points were like 140 at the beginning. Yeah, he's 164. So he's gone quite heavy on the characters. That's almost 1,700 points.
It is. But then, I think...
They're all good. They're all good characters. They're all solid.
All those points are doing something. It's not like it's dead points. Like, that Dragon Seeker is going to make monsters scared, characters scared. The King's just points denial, essentially, because he's just really hard to get rid of. The Thane's got the Hold Stone, which is really his big thing as well. It also helps him against monsters in case the monster gets out of that unit. The Smith's just there to buff. The Engineer's just there to buff. So it's not, like, everything's got a purpose in that character loadout.
I think the Hold Stone's going to be useful for the peasant scenario, just because of how the peasants can put you out of position. So for denying flank charges and stuff, activating the Hold Stone is going to be really useful.
One thing I didn't clock about the Hold Stone until I was going over the list, though, is that you still count as disrupted.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was more like the one of the Highborn elves can do the fleet commander can do that kind of thing where they switch around, so it doesn't count as a flank charge. I thought it was kind of like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So although
don't Empire have something similar to that as well? Don't they have a banner that?
We've got the banner of Unity, which basically just means that you're not disrupted if you get charged in the flank, but you are if you get charged in the rear.
Right.
But you still suffer from getting charged in the flank in terms of you can't support attack or anything like that. So it's like the other way around for the Hold Stone. Yeah, good for the peasant one. So core,
he's rocking 10 clan marksmen, musician, guild crafted handguns and shields for 300 points. And then he's got a block of 30 clan warriors, full command, banner, speed, spears and shields for 630. And a small group of 10 greybeards with shields for 200. So his core comes to 1130.
5 points over on his core allowance.
Yeah, suboptimal. He's really losing out there. But yeah, I like the big block of spear. Spear just good.
Yeah.
That'll be a pain to shift. I think that's going to be for the bridge scenario, just popping that on the bridge.
It is, but they're still only strength 3.
Yeah. What, the heavy armor?
Heavy armor, shield, so what's that, 4 up. And then they've got
4
shield
up armor
as well.
So relatively tanky.
They're fast for dwarves. Movement 4.
Yeah. So what, they can march 9?
No, because they can triple march. Right?
And then with the...
yeah.
Well, they're movement 3, right?
Yeah, so they go up to movement 4 with the banner, and then they can triple march. So that's 12.
Oh, of course, I've got it.
Yeah. So you're talking first turn, they can get on that bridge and secure it.
And then if the Ruined Smith is nearby, you'll be giving them some nice buffs.
Yeah, and I'm guessing he's going to run them 6 ranks of 5. So that's a lot of steadfast to get through. Yeah. Toughness 4.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like it. It's good.
And then the Greybeards, they do that thing where if they're within 6 inches, they make them immune to... Is it fear and terror, or is it something else?
Greybeards, everything within 6 inches, re-rolls failed panic tests.
Oh, it's just re-rolls. That's really good, though.
Yeah. But what you could even do there is have them, like, you could have the Greybeards behind the Clan Warriors, for example, on one bridge, and have his Deep Watch, his BSB, and his King in that, on the other one, because then you're still getting the re-rolls, even if you're out with your BSB level, so it's smart. And plus, the little 10-man unit will be good for the peasants. It's just another scoring unit.
And then moving on to special, I've got 16 Deep Watch with full command. They've got the Stalker standard, so they can even just mosey across the river. They don't even have to go by the bridge.
Yeah.
Plate armor and shields, obviously, so 478. So not overly expensive for 16 Deep Watch, that's right. And then 11 Seekers with Skirmish and Vanguard, just the champion, paired weapons, great weapons, obviously. 328 points. And 2 Vengeance Seekers at 120 points each. So that comes in at 1,046 points for special. What do you think of that?
I think that he's going to have all his characters in his Deep Watch. I think he's going to have, the King, the Thane, and the Runic Smith in the Deep Watch. Probably. To take up to 20. Although he could move them about, there's nothing stopping him doing that. And then he's Dragon Seeker. If he's going up against something that has shooting, probably throw him in there just so he benefits from the skirmish. I mean, if he's going up against something that hasn't got shooting, then probably run the Dragon Seeker by himself. I would imagine. I don't know. Makes him a bit more versatile. Vengeance Seekers are good. They're just really good. They're good chaff because probably anything that hits them is going to get hurt.
Okay, so Clan Thunder. 2 attack copters with Skirmish, just 1 unit obviously, so 300 points. Pretty bog standard, really useful unit. Quite like the copters.
Skirmish is
and then he's got,
well,
they're a pain as well. Like I think I've only played Andy twice, but I think in both games, copters have been a bit of a nightmare for me to deal with.
The toughness 5, because it makes it really hard for your own chaff to deal with. So you can't really out chaff them. Like those Forger Peers as well, so they can dish out quite a lot of pain.
And then just to round out, he's got the Organ Gun runecrafted, obviously, for 325 points. So exactly 4,500 points all in.
Well done, Andy.
That's what I like to see. Exact points.
Okay.
I think it's a good list. I think it's quite versatile. He's got some shooting there. He's got some good damage dealing units. He's got good tankiness. I like it.
Yeah, I think he's really thought about the scenarios as well. This is one of the lists where I think that he's kind of sat down and thought what he needs, because he's got good kind of anvil units for the bridges. He's got the Stalker Stunner so he can get across the river if he needs. For the camp match, he's got enough shooting that basically just says, well, if you want to come get my camp, I'm going to shoot you to shit as you come in. And then for the peasants, he's got plenty of little scoring units that can run about after the pesky peasants. So yeah, I think it's a good list.
Well done, Andy.
Well done, Andy.
I know he's definitely played scenarios, so I think that definitely shows.
So, thumbs up, yeah?
Yep, definitely.
Awesome.
So moving on to the next chumps list.
This list is shite.
Andrew Lind.
This is shite.
Yeah.
This guy has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I read it.
I thought the same as I wrote it.
So, Andrew Lind, Empire of Sonstall. Do you want to go through your list?
Sure. So what we'll do is I'll run through the entire list and then maybe we can have a brief talk about it. And
sure.
I'll point out maybe a couple of things. So, characters. My general is a prelate. He's got the Armour of Frederick the Great, which gives him a 1-up armour save. He has the Duststone, which means he can reroll failed armour saves. And he's got a great weapon. My BSB is a Marshal. He has a great Tactician, so he can give out 2 orders. He's obviously the BSB. He's got the Ether icon on his banner, so it makes him the Wizard Master for Dispelling. He's got the Charm of Cursed Iron, which gives the unit and himself a 5-up ward save against war machines. He's got the Hardened Shield to give him an extra pip of armor save, and he's got Plate Armor for 315 points. And then I have a Prelate who is mounted on a Barded Warhorse with the Black Helm, which gives him Fear, a Flaming Lance, Heavy Armor, and a Shield, so he has a 1-up armor save. For core,
Nice.
Because I'm a super super competitive player, I am on 25% on the dot with 1125. I have 30 heavy infantry with full command, the Banner of Discipline, so they're immune to panic, light armor, shields, and spears. I have 2 20-man units of heavy infantry with standard bearers, light armor, and halberds. And then I have 2 10-man skirmishing state militia with pistol units. And then for special, I have my one true loves, the Knightly Orders. I've got 9 of them with full command, Stalker Standard, Plate Armor, Lance Shield for 600 points. I've got 4 chickens with Musician Standard with a gleaming icon because they always run away because they're chickens. And they've got Lances and Shields. I have Insuna's Fury, Arcane Engine with Arcane Shield, so that gives everything within 6 distracting, and Bound Spell of Know Thy Enemy on a 4+. I have the Steam Tank, because the bull is hungry. I have a cannon, a mortar, and then for Imperial auxiliaries I have 5 Reiter with heavy armour and brace of pistol.
Nice. You should also say that the bull is the name of the steam tank, for those not aware
Damn
of what
straight.
that comment is. Just in case anyone was like, what the hell is this guy talking about? It's funny, when you said that you put the banner discipline on your heavy infantry block,
Yeah.
part of me was like,
How
anyone listening to this is just going to be like, that's a really good, sensible build. Make sure your centre is completely solid. And then the other half of me thought, that's just completely telling of your luck that unit always runs away.
And actually, I really wanted to just give them the war banner,
Yeah.
but that would mean that I'm at 1120. So
Yeah. That would mean you're guaranteed to fail a panic check.
exactly. I think, yeah, anyone who's played me knows the way I like to run the heavy infantry, where you have the big block in the middle and the supports either side. I think it's just really solid, and you really need to either shoot them to shit or really beat them up in combat to break it. And having that middle unit immune for panic, getting the benefit from the charm, it just makes it more reliable.
Yeah, I mean, considering that individually the units aren't great, together they work really well.
No, they are
It's a really solid war, which I like.
So without going into pro tips, tactics, and giving all my secrets away, I think I've tried to kind of adjust my standard list to the scenarios a bit more, and try to think about what I need from the scenarios. I still don't think I think it'll do some scenarios better than others, but I've got the tools to compete in all of them, which I think is the main thing. I know it can work, so yeah, it'll be alright.
Yeah, no, I think you've got a good mix of units. Double artillery. The cannon could come in use for monsters and stuff. Otherwise, I'm assuming you're just going to throw the steam tank at it and just try and not deal with it for as long as possible.
Well, the steam tank cannon and the actual cannon are a good combo to have against monsters, because the steam tank's more accurate but does less damage, whereas the cannon obviously does more. And as long as you don't misfire.
Yeah, even just chipping away at stuff.
Exactly,
I mean, if you can get things to half wounds, then the knights on the charge can do really well with the melee in there.
Exactly. So yeah, I think it's good. I mean, I'm a little bit upset that I can get my volley gun in, but I made the decision that
I'm sure everyone's devastated.
I know.
At least it's not double volley.
Exactly. The double volley gun was on the table for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think the mortar gives me a bit more of a ranged threat, and one thing that I found that I do tend to struggle against is like big hordes of stuff, like hordes of stuff that's better than heavy infantry, because although I've got a lot of bodies, I don't have enough bodies to really match stuff like that. So hopefully the mortar will help me out in those kind of circumstances. But,
I mean, like 30 guys, toughness 3, it's not that many, really.
It's not, no.
Things are going to get through that fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, the way everything's designed to work with the support units and things, that offers a lot of protection. But like you say, against an army with a lot of artillery, by the time you get into combat, that 30-man block could be gone, depending on how well they roll. So,
yep.
Obviously, I take it you're not going to tell anyone this, but I know that the standard way they would run it would be with the engine behind your central block. Although when we played last, you kind of were a little bit more mobile with this shrine, with the engine. You had that support in some of your heavier hitters, which I think worked really well.
I don't know what you're talking about, Paul.
Fair enough. Well, shall we move on then on the next list, since you're not prepared to give away anything?
No, I think anyone that's played me knows the kind of way I like to play this. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. That's a thumbs up.
Right, next up on the list, Danny Minto.
It's Danny Minto, Orcs and Goblins.
From 400 Raiders.
Yeah, I don't like playing Orcs and Goblins.
Yeah.
That's not to say it's not a good list. I do like the list. It's just my track history of playing Orcs and Goblins.
I really like this list. I think
it's cool.
Yeah, I think this is one of my favourites, just because I think it is cool, but I think it's good as well. So
I really hope it's all painted, just because.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Right, cool.
When we played at Durham, I saw Danny's army. Danny's army is really, really nicely painted, so it'll be cool to see.
Awesome. I think it'll look really good on the table.
So, Orcs and Goblins, his characters Oh, I should disclaim, there are no orcs in this list. Because Danny is a baller. He doesn't give a shit about orcs. All about them gobos. So, for characters, his general is a Lord of Sneaking. He's a cave goblin. He's on a cave nasher because he's an absolute badass. He has Green Tide for his special rule, heavy armor, he's a king, he's got shield, the buffer's helm, and the talisman of supreme shielding. He has a BSB, which is also, surprisingly, a Lord of Sneaking. He is also a cave goblin. He is a chief, of course, and he has a shield. He has a wizard, Goblin Witch Doctor, who's a wizard apprentice with pyromancy, 3 additional spells, and he's a common goblin. So that is 786 points altogether. It's absolutely bananas. His wizard alone...
No, it's really funny.
What?
That's more points than what I've spent on characters for my army.
That is good.
That's an extra 46 points. He does have a fully fledged caster though. So
I love that about goblins. They can do it so cheaply. I think they're really the only... Yep. I suppose the Empire can do it to a certain extent, but 290 for 4 pyro spells is bananas.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
Sorry, I should say, so his general was 376 points, his BSB was 120, and his Witch Doctor was 290. So, yeah, I think his general's really mobile. He doesn't hit very hard, but he's hard to kill. His BSB is going to be, in a block somewhere. And the Witch Doctor's cheap and cheerful, and, can dish out a lot of pain against the right stuff. So, yeah, I like it. His core is 40 Cave Goblins with a Mad Git Musician Bows, 40 Cave Goblins, Mad Git Musician Bows. They're 390 apiece. He's also got 34 Cave Goblins with full command, Mad Git, and shields for 348. His special is 2 Nasher Wrecking Teams, because why have one when you can have 2? He has a Scrap Wagon, and he has 8 Cave Trolls. In the Death from Above category, he has a Git Launcher, and a Skewer. And then for Big and Nasty, because Danny is a baller, he has 2 Spiders. One with a Web Launcher, and one with nothing. What do you think, Paul?
I think it's cool. I really like the double spider. Like I say, I think that's going to look really cool on the table, especially if everything's painted. The big block of cave trolls. See, this is interesting. I never like fielding trolls, but I always hate fighting them.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because, the cave trolls are pretty good, because they've got an 8 defense 4 up, but they also get 4 up regen, so they're fairly tanky. He's got 8 of them. That's a lot of wounds to get through.
They can dish out the pain as well.
Yeah, they're really good. Strength 5.
One thing I was going to check is, what is his leadership on his general? Is it, because it's a goblin, right? So is that lower? Is that still 8?
Let me check.
It's still 8. It's still good.
Is that base? Yeah?
Yeah. So he hasn't taken the leadership thing. And because it's only Monstrous Cav on the Cave Nasher, he's not getting a bigger bubble. So he's still only leadership. So there is the potential for the Cave Trolls to fail stupidity tests and things like that. But that'd be quite funny. So.
I dare say if he's been running the list for a while, he probably knows how to mitigate against that.
I can't remember off the top of my head what he took to Midlands, but I don't think it was the exact same thing, but there was definitely a heavy goblin theme.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he
I
took
really like
double
this.
spider last time, but
It's got 3 pieces of artillery. I hate wrecking teams. They're horrible against high armor stuff.
Yeah.
140 points. Again, if you can't shoot at them, you've just got to feed it stuff. So you got to just sacrifice your cheap chaff.
Feed them the doggies.
Yeah, basically. If they're still alive, if they're not shot to fuck by 80 bottle shots.
So how do you think this one's going to do in the scenarios?
Don't know. I think, a lot of the scenarios, every one of them is very matchup dependent, because, he's got some nice big blocks that can just sit on the bridge, but they're goblins at the end of the day. They could be broken, they could be shot to shit. A lot of these random movers and things like that, I guess they're not going to care about the DTs from the river. They can just go right through the river.
No, they'll still DTs.
Any beasts?
They are, monstrous beasts. Oh no. So what are monstrous beasts? They would still take DTs.
what I find when you're playing Orcs and Goblins, they've got so much, everything's fairly low quality, but they've always got that much of it that things can just chip away at you. So you can be knocking wounds off you before you even get to combat. And like I say, the Scrap Wagon and the Wrecking Teams can do pretty good damage. The thing is, if you're going up against something with decent shooting, they're going to be able to handle. That's probably going to be prime target for these kind of units, because the Goblins aren't great in combat. No one's going to really be worried about going into them. It's just the Spiders, I think. That's the main hammer of the list.
But then even the Spiders are only strength 5. I mean, they've got a lot of attacks, and they've obviously got 8 wounds. But maybe against other monsters, they're not going to be...
Do they not have like a special attack for monsters? They have Venom Surge?
Venom Surge, yeah.
I don't know, I've seen people have pretty good success with the Spiders.
They are good, and they're relatively cheap for what they are as well, so...
Yeah, and like you say, it is a kind of a fluffy list. He has gone full Goblin.
Which we very much appreciate.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, the trolls are going to be cool as well on the bridge, because the only thing is they're not scoring, but you can just have something up behind them.
Pyromancy's solid.
Yeah.
It's always a good lord to take.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it's cool. I'll be rooting for Danny, because I really like that list.
Unless you're playing him.
Unless I'm playing him, then he's going to feel the might of the Empire.
Cool. So we'll move on to the next list.
Next list.
Okay, so we have Edward Murdoch with Kingdom of Equitaine. So he's going with Favour of the Grail. For characters, he's General's Duke with the virtue of humility and just a shield, so he's very cheap, just 220 points. He's got another Duke with the Grail Oath on a Pegasus. He's got the virtue of might, the armour of Percival, the divine icon with Dragon Lance, and a shield. So he's 640 points. And he has a damsel who's a wizard master with 4 learned spells with the Path of Divination for 330. So that's 1230 in total for characters.
370.
Yeah, what did I say?
330.
Oh, sorry, reading's hard sometimes. For port,
you can't read.
Oh, what a pair we make. It's a chilling indictment of the education system, considering we both have PhDs.
Yeah. Don't tell him that. What are you
So for core, he's got 8 Knights Aspirant, Musician Standards, Banner Speed, Lances and Shields, and then he's got 2 units of 7 Knights Aspirant Musicians with Lances and Shields, both 348 points. He's got 52 Peasants, Musician Standard, Spear and Shields, 116, yeah, and another group of 30 Peasants, Full Command, Light Armour, Shields and Spears for 260. And then for special, he's got 30 Peasant Crusaders, Musician, Standard Bearer, Shields. He's got the Sacred Reliquary. I can never say that. Green Knight, a Scorpion for 135, and a Trebuchet for 280.
Boom.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Ed's a good player. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. This is the thing. I look at a lot of these lists, and because I don't play the army, I'm like, I think that looks okay. I could
do that.
And then you play it, and you're like, oh my god, I didn't know I could do that. But yeah, I like the 3 units of knights.
Yeah.
I think they'll be good for the peasants.
Aspirants as well. I think Ed and I have talked about this before. Aspirants are just really good for what they are.
Yeah, they're not expensive.
No, the thing that pulls them back is that they're only strength 3. But
having Frenzy only on the charge is really nice as well.
They've also got Thunderous Charge obviously on the charge, so they go up to strength 6 on the charge.
Yeah, but like you say, if they bounce, then they're in trouble.
Oh yeah, but I think that's just the nature of cavalry just now. So I think you're better going, because maybe I'm missing something, but I don't really see what Knights of the Realm add over your Knights Aspirant.
Was it +1 strength?
Yeah, but then there's still strength 6 on the charge, so...
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the fealty, I guess. The fealty, so it buffs your peasants, so you can use their leadership.
I suppose, but I mean, he's running the general with the virtue of humility, so his general's basically a BSB as well for the peasants.
I mean, for only 20 points more, I like that Knights Aspirant. I think they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
Peasants.
He doesn't have the Stalker standard, does he?
He doesn't know. So that'll be interesting how he plays the
Knights of the River.
Knights of the River. I think he's probably just going to march them through.
I think he's going to go Knights first, and then Peasants up behind to secure bridge. From the Green Knight can ambush.
I think he's going to put the peasants over the bridges and just send the knights over the river and take what comes.
I think against a shooting heavy list, I don't think you'd do that. I think the knights get wrecked.
Yeah, you think?
Well, it's going to take DTs for moving into the river.
Yeah.
And it's going to be taking DTs for coming out of the river. So you can have 2 rounds of DTs, which means that he's going to have 2 rounds of people shooting at him if they want. Once you get rid of the knights, you can go after what's ever on the bridge, and what's on the bridge is going to be peasants. And, I mean, they're going to have steadfast all day, but, I mean, the right units will still chomp through that in a couple of turns.
I'd love to get, like, chosen into that.
That was exactly the unit I had in mind. Chosen with paired weapons, marker Wrath, go.
Chosen just throwing them off the bridge into the river.
I think he'd be jumping off the river if he saw Chosen coming up. But yeah, the Green Knight can ambush, can't he?
Yeah, so he's brought back the Green Knight, because he was out of favour for a while.
I like that.
The issue with the Green Knight is because he's unstable, so combat res can kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's terror and he can ambush, he's good at taking out war machines, but he's also good just to kind of come on and mess with people.
It was funny, I was talking to Ed the other day, and I inadvertently dropped a piece of information from someone else's list, and it was one of the Dwarven lists that has the ruins on the organ guns, so they do magical damage.
Oh, okay, right.
And he was like, shit, I didn't know they could do that. I was like, yeah, just keep that under your hat. Maybe don't let anyone know that I told you that. But the lists are released now, so it's fine.
Because it's ethereal.
So yeah, potentially nasty. So he needs to watch, I guess. But he's got the flying character as well, because he was running the Duke on the Hippogriff for a while.
Yeah, the Hippo Lord.
He's got it on a Pegasus.
Yeah, so this Pegasus Lord hits really, really hard.
Yeah.
And if he gets like his D3 wounds right, I mean, there's not a lot that will be able to stand up against him on the charge. The issue is that he's not got the same level of protection. The armor of Percival, if I'm right, gives you +1 to your ward save. So he's got the Grail, Favour the Grail.
So he's got 4 up.
So yes, that's the 5 up ward against AP, causing weapons. So that's 4 up against AP. So stuff like cannons, you'll have a 4 up ward, which is still good. But because he's on the peg, he's only still got 3 wounds. So if he fails that ward save, then there goes the peg.
And he flies as well, so he's got worried about clip rungs.
Damn straight he does.
But yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. I like the mixture of the knights and the peasants. He's got the peasant crusaders as well, so he's got a third block of guys that he can go after the bridge with.
Yeah, he's got lots of options in the list, which I really like. He's gone for divination as well for the damsel, which is interesting because I think this is probably the first time I've ever seen him with divination. In the past, he's only that I've seen him play anyway. He's done druidism or shamanism. So
yeah, and he inadvertently gets like 3 totems on the table. He seems to roll really well for his totems.
Yeah, but I guess he's done that so he can boost the peasants more, since the peasants are bigger kind of.
Yeah, I like divination as lower. I think it's good, especially for these kind of armies. I think it's really good.
I mean, the main issue with divination is its range. It's quite short range, but he's damsel's on foot, so she'll either just be hoofing it on her own, or she'll be in a unit kind of behind everything, so she's relatively safe no matter what she does. So yeah, no, I like it. Interesting he went for the Scorpion. I guess just to give him some kind of...
It might have just been points as well. It's only 135 points.
Yeah, Trebuchet's solid.
Scorpion is just, what is it? 48 inch range.
Yeah. Strength 6, D3 +1. Multiple wounds, clip wings, AP6.
AP6.
So, yeah, it's
good.
Decent. Yeah, thumbs up.
And that comes to 4499, so he's almost at max points as well. So he gets bonus points for that. So, moving on.
The Spanish stallion himself.
Yeah. To Guillermo. So he's rocking the Saurian Ancients. His list is exactly 4,500 points. So
because he's a baller as well.
People are going to think we'd still have OCD, but I don't know. Maybe we do.
Maybe we do, yeah.
Yeah. For characters, he's got a Firstborn Warlord for his general. He's on the Carnosaur. He's got the Glittering Cuirass, Potion of Swiftness, Spear of the Stampede, Talisman of Greater Shielding, and a Shield for 730 points. And he has Skink Priest mounted on a Taurosaur, 3 learned spells with Shamanism. He's got the Jade Staff, and just a giant blowpipe on the dinosaur. for 720 points. For core, he's got 2 blocks of 20 Soaring Warriors, full command, spears and shield.
Sorry, warriors.
Sorry?
Did you say sorry, warriors?
Saurian Warriors.
Alright, sorry.
What do you think I said?
I said sorry, warriors. Ignore me.
Special. He's got 2 units of 5 Raptor Riders with Musician, Standard Bearer, and Shields, Lances. Pretty good. And for Jungle Gorilla, he has 2 units of 10 Chameleons, and he has 2 units of 2 Spearbacks. And he also has the Taurosaur with the Engine of the Ancients on the back. So that's, like I say, exactly 4,500 points. Yeah. I really like his list. The Spearbacks are a giant pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Saurian, or should I say, Sorry Warriors, if that's their new name, are really good infantry, pretty tough to get through. Raptors, bar the stupidity, are pretty good. They'll be good for picking up peasants. Chameleons for scout, it's really handy, good going after war machines. Well. Yeah, for getting to people's camps, a lot easier. Yep. And they've got Water Strider with the Spearbacks, so for their bridge scenario, they're not going to give a shit.
Don't give a single shit.
Nope. And he's got the 3 dinosaurs, 2 Taurosaurs, and the Carnosaur. The general's really good, like on the charge, you just eat things. What do you think?
See, we've got to be careful here, because we advised Guillermo on this, so we can't trash it. But I think I like it. I think it'll be good. You can maybe tell that we've had some input on this, because everything's in 2s. It's very OCD.
Oh, that's your input.
Yeah, probably. Now you got to take 2 of us. You can't.
No, it's a really good list. Shamanism's very good lore. Synergizes well with the priest on the Taurosaur, the sacrification lore attribute.
I think the main thing is that he's relying on his dinos to do work. So if he goes up against a really heavy shooting list, like a dwarf list, or to a lesser extent my list with the cannon and the steam tank, and he starts losing dinos early on, that could hurt him, because that's really where he's expecting a lot of his hitting power to come from. But he's
like bolt throwers as well.
Yeah, like bolt throwers, like something like Ed's
Rose.
Whatchamacallit, Scorpion. You know, what's that, 135? If that can nail a dino, that's, you're pushing 5 times its points back right there. I do really like it. I think it will do well in the scenarios as well, because he's got all this Water Strider stuff, so he doesn't really care about the bridges. He's got plenty of fast scoring stuff, so you can get to the camps, but you can also get peasants. So I think it's a matchup dependent list, but it's a good list.
Yeah, it is. He's got solid shooting. I mean, his combat stuff's fairly tanky, just because everything's got good armor, good toughness. All his dinosaurs are doing impact hits, so against other monsters as well. If he combo charges, he can just get them off the table.
Yeah. Like, this will just eat an MSU list.
Yeah, I mean, the Spearbacks, they can take out a unit on their own.
Yeah. But this is it. Like, he said that you wanted to play for these dinosaurs, and this is it. I think it'll be a really fun list for him to play. You better get lots of 20 nils because he's in my team now.
It's fair to say that Guillermo's relatively competitive.
No, Guillermo.
So I think he'll go in with a good attitude. He'll be one to win. So if anything, you might want to just rein him back a wee bit.
No, Guillermo, stop hitting him. Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have a BSB, but he's cold-blooded, so that'll help.
Doesn't need one.
I think it's good. The Spearbacks are amazing. 2 units of 2 that can just put so much hurt.
It's horrible.
Yeah. And the Raptor Riders, I saw in the forum, a lot of the Saurian Ancient players really don't like Raptorizers, just because, and even Guillermo was a bit resistant because of the stupidity, but I think they're really, really good. For what they are, I mean, 320 points. On the charge, the Saurus guys on top get 2 attacks each with a lance. That's,
strength 6.
Yeah, I think they're good. I like them. I rate them. So yeah,
cool.
Up.
Yeah, sure. What's next? Do you want to do the next one?
Sure. This is probably the most gentlemanly man out of our little ragtag band, is Henrik Mao. And he is bringing his trusty Dwarven Holds. He got 4499, so valiant effort on the points. So characters to kick us off, he has a king who's his general. He's gone Warthrone, so he's a baller. He's got the Rune of Mountains, the Rune of Resistance, 2 times the Rune of Shielding, Rune of the Forge. He's got Immense Protection 5+ from the War Throne, Plate Armor, and Shield. His BSB is a Thane with the Runic Standard of Shielding, Plate Armor, and a Shield for 266. His next character is a Runic Smith with the Rune of Gleaming, the Rune of Resilience, the Rune of Resolve, the Rune of Brilliance, the Rune of Devouring, Plate Armor, and Shield for 379 points. His core, coming in at 1138, is 16 Clan Marksman with Musician, Heavy Armor, Shields, and Guild-crafted handguns for 468. He has 25 Greybeards, Full Command, Runic Standard of Swiftness, Heavy Armor for 670 points. For Special, coming in at 1,306 points, he has a unit of 24 Deep Watch, Full Command, Banner of Speed, Plate Armor, Shield for 692. He has 14 Seekers with Vanguard, notably no Skirmish. He has a Musician, they've got paired weapons and great weapons because they're Weapon Master, so that's 384 points. He has a unit of 10 Miners, little cheeky Miners with pistols and heavy armor for 230 points. He has, for Clan Thunder, 10 Forge Wardens with Musician, Plate Armor, and their nasty Forge Guns for 300 points. And then to cap it off, he has a Catapult, which is rune crafted, for 320 points.
Cool. So do you know what all the runes do?
I'll have a bash.
Go for it.
Okay. So,
yep.
Rune of the Mountains, that is like buffer cell?
Yep. So you're rerolling to win?
Rerolling to win. Rune of Resistance is going to be plus...
Oh no, sorry. We're wrong. Rune of Mountains doesn't do that. It's +1 toughness.
Ah, okay.
Something else that does that. It does have that, but that's not what that rune does.
Is that the Rune of Resistance? So that's
yep,
the
that's right. 90 points.
Okay.
Yep.
Shielding's the plus ward save, so he's got 5 up ward. Rune of the Forge, is that like Fireborn? Something like that?
Yep.
The Runic Standard of Shielding is the one that's really good. It's like the 6-inch bubble of 5 up against shooting. 5 up ward.
No.
No? Is it not?
That's... Sorry, who are we talking about? You're not talking about the king?
Oh no, that's the king, done.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so he's got the Mountains, which is the +1 toughness, the Resistance, which is the buffer cell equivalent, Shielding, so 5 up ward, because he's got 2 of them, the Forge, which makes him Fireborn, and then the Thane has the Runic Banner of Shielding, which is the 6-inch bubble, and everything within that's 5+, yeah. The Runic Smith has the Rune of Gleaming, which is the distracting hard target, Resilience, which is the -1 to win them, Resolve, shit, what's Resolve? Ah, bugger. I don't know.
Resolve's magical move.
Is it magical move?
Yeah, 6-inch magical move.
Wow. I wouldn't have guessed that one.
Yep,
okay.
Dwarves can do that.
Is there anything they can't do, Paul? Let's be serious. Bear Cab. You can't have Bear Cab, guys. So what does Brilliance do?
Rune of Brilliance. That's a very good question. Who has that?
Egotistical rune. The Runic Smith. Oh, I know what this is. This is the magic one, right? Yes. So this is the +1 modifier to all dispel and casting rolls.
Yeah.
And my personal favourite is the Rune of Devouring, which is the one that you use like a scroll, but instead of dispelling it, it goes off successfully, but then it is destroyed for the rest of the game.
Almost their equivalent of like the Crown of Scorn, so you can't take any... Oh no, it's not. That's not the one that you can't take any arcane items, is it?
No.
No? Okay, that's something else.
You can't combine it with the Rune of Denial, which is their equivalent of the dispel.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Aether Lodestone. That's on someone else's list.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I think this is probably... Because there's quite a lot of dwarf lists. I really like that.
Yeah, it's 4.
The Runic Smith build that he's got there. Because that guy is just all the magic, all the time. I think he's really cool. And he's only 379 points as well.
Yeah, he's not expensive. The King's pretty cool.
Yeah, the War Throne's ridiculous. It's so good. So expensive, like, you really pay for what you're getting, but...
Toughness 6. It's pretty awesome.
Toughness 6.
And you're re-rolling to wound with a 1-up armor. And he has a 4-up ward.
How's he got a
shield
ward?
Because he's got 2 runes of shielding and a shield.
Fucking shit.
Now, question. Does that mean he has a 3-up ward when he's charged? Or can you not get a 3-up ward? Presumably that's only a 4-up ward.
Does it not actually say in Shield Wall that it can't get better than a 4?
Yeah, so it's just a 4 anyway. So he's just rocking a 4 all the time. Pretty good.
I think, anyway, yeah. Any you stunties can correct us if we're wrong. Yeah, so what's your thoughts overall?
I think that's one of the things that I like about the fact that there's 4 dwarf armies, but they're all completely different.
Yeah.
There's no like one standard build that they're all bringing. I think if you were to play multiple dwarf armies on the day, it would still feel quite different, which I like.
Because you will be playing multiple dwarf armies on the day, probably.
Well, yeah, I think every army or every team has a dwarf army of sorts in it, or one team.
Or one, yeah.
So it's incredibly likely that you do fight more than one dwarf army. 24 Deep Watch, that's just going to be a bit of a nightmare to get through that. What are the Forge Wardens like? I've never played against Forge Wardens.
Andy used to run them like a wee while ago. I think they're cool. They've got like the flamethrower guns, so they're like strength 5. I think they're like range 18 or 12. They're not particularly long range.
No, 18-inch.
18.
Yeah, strength 5, flaming, quick to fire.
But then the Wardens themselves are still like, I think their weapons go 5, strength 4, plate armor.
Yep.
So they're still pretty tanky. So if they do get charged by stuff, you can't just throw shit at them. So yeah, I think they're quite cool. This is a very different list to the way that Henrik has run his dwarves in the past.
I've never played against Hendrik before. The only person I've ever played against dwarves is Andy's dwarves. And he tends to run them in a very certain way. It's a bit different.
Yeah. I like it.
Greybeards seem cool.
Yeah, Greybeards are good. I mean, he's got 2 big chunky blocks there. The Greybeards and Deep Watch. And everyone's really fast in this army as well. Because everything within 6 gets Swift Stride on the charge. Because of the War Throne.
Yep.
He's got +1 movement on the Greybeards and Deep Watch because of the banners.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just fast.
So they can march 12?
Yep. Right up in your grill. 2 big meaty blocks on either bridge. He's got decent shooting to protect his camp. He's got quite a lot of scorers to grab objectives for the peasants. So, yeah, I like it.
Yep, pretty good.
I mean,
Thumbs up.
dwarves are just really hard to deal with, especially if you've got multiple units, because you can't really just outmaneuver them. So, yeah, no, I like it. It's good.
I think that's the thing. Like, even if, like what we mentioned before with the peasants, where they can potentially pin you in place. Like for dwarves, that tends to be less of an issue because they're gonna hold if they're charged, and that's where they want to be is in combat. So yeah, I don't think that's an issue for them.
No, I think they're good, and I think having the 10 miners as well because they're scoring, so they could potentially jump on and grab someone's camp if someone's left their camp undefended. I've got this like image in my head of the Forge Wardens like walking onto the bridge with their flamethrower guns and just like putting forward this wall of flame and just daring anyone to come on. I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, I do like it as well.
I think I would have given the Seekers Skirmish.
How much is that as an option? Is that like an extra 20 odd points or something?
I shall check. Yeah. It is
2 points per model.
2 points per model. I mean, max 15. I mean, he's only at 14, so...
Yeah, it's only a maximum of 30 then, so that's alright.
I would give them Skirmish before I would give them Vanguard.
Just because they are more vulnerable, because they've only got a 6-up.
Yeah, they're unbreakable as well, so they don't really care about not having ranks. Because their big weakness is shooting, because they've got no defense apart from the 6-up, so having them stacked up like that makes them a target.
And then what's he got on the Runesmith? -1 to wound?
Yeah, he's only got the 2, so he's got Gleaming in the...
So he's got the magical move as well, so he's even faster.
Sorry, magic move, yeah. But then this is the same thing, where he's only got 3 spells, so it's going to be easier to close down. He's got the Brilliance one, so he's got the plus.
Plus to cast.
Plus to cast and everything, but I still think it's risky. Okay.
So we move on?
Move on.
So, James McCormick, the first of our Durham Raiders.
James.
He is bringing Ogre Cannons.
Yeah.
So for characters, he's running a Mammoth Hunter with the Wild Heart, and this is going to be his general, and he's on a Tusker. He's got the Armour of Fortune with the Axebreaker Gauntlet, Potion of Swiftness, and an Ogre Crossbow for 400 points. He's got a second Mammoth Hunter as BSB, and he's mounted on a Rock with the Heart Ripper and an ogre crossbow, and a shaman with 3 learned spells with shamanism and a great weapon for 352. For core, he's got 15 scraplings with bows and a second unit of 11 tribesmen, full command with the skull and iron fists for 826. For special, he's got a tiger, and then he's got 2 Tusker Cav with the standard and the iron fists, so he's got light armor on them, and a second unit of Tusker Cav, this time 4, with the standard bearer and iron fists again for 640 points, and 2 Yetis, paired weapons, 160, nice and cheap and cheerful. And then for the chained beasts category, he's got the Frost Mammoth with the Ogre Crossbow, and the Rocker Orc, the second one, with the Ogre Crossbow for 480 points. And that's his list. 4,498 points. I like it. It's horrible. Lots of things to charge you, lots of impact hits, lots of high toughness stuff to deal with.
James is a gentleman as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing James again. I had the pleasure to play against him at Durham.
And this is the same list?
Well, it's stuck very similar to it. He's gone the same kind of monster mash. His characters are pretty much the same. The only difference that I can remember off the top of my head is that he's added in these Yetis. He didn't have the Yetis before.
Did he have Pyromancy before?
Yeah, he had his Shaman. I think his Shaman's like... Oh, he's not. That's what he's done. So his Shaman before had the Book of Arcane Power.
Right, okay.
So that's 100 points straight off there that he's dropped. So I think he's probably just played about with his points to get those Yetis on, because they're only 160.
Mm-hmm. Yetis are cool. Yeah, they're a really good unit.
And see, he's general, right? So when I played him at Durham, I had my Knight Commander, the Sonstall, and the Knight unit that was just going around, just smacking people in the face. I was terrified of his general, because he's got the Axe Breaker Gauntlet, which breaks magical weapons.
So he's going to break your Sonstall?
Yeah. It's like, no!
I know, it's such a good item.
I know, I managed to hide from him for most of the game, so that was good. But
he's cheap as well, he's only 400 points.
He is, yeah, he's versatile, because he's still an ogre at the end of the day and a Tusker, so he can take on, small units. And then 2 Rocker Orcs is just solid, because Rocker Orcs, I would argue, are still the best monster in the game. They're just really, really tough,
probably.
Really good.
I think the Tusker Cab as well are very good, just with their impact hits and stuff. And I think the key is the Frost Mammoth.
It's very good.
Because that has the ability to debuff initiative.
Yeah.
And he's got Iron Fists on things, so everything's going to be, all the ogres are going to be initiative 3. And I think the Frost Mammoth is, am I right in saying it's -3 initiative for enemy units within 6? Something like that, right?
I'll check, yeah, it's minus. -3 sounds right, actually.
It's quite substantial.
Because what I did at Durham was, I didn't target the Rocker Orcs with my cannon. I was going for the Frost Mammoth. Because the Rocker Orcs are just going to be a nightmare to deal with anyway, whereas I could take out the Frost Mammoth and not... Yeah, it's -3 initiative within 6.
Which is... and the thing is as well, that's effectively like a buff wagon, but it's still like 6 wounds, toughness 6.
Strength 6 as well. It's only got 4 attacks, but you can still dish it out against the right stuff.
That's time and energy that you're not, dedicating towards the bigger scary things. So.
Bigger grip, please.
And the big tribesmen block, 11 of them.
Yep.
With Iron Fists. Like that on a bridge, that's going to be interesting to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
The skull is really good as well, because that's something like 20 points. I think that's like that makes you immune to fear and terror.
I think, no, but it gives them fear, I think. Because they're already immune to fear. Because they're ogre.
Oh, is that one of the special rules?
Yeah, it's one of the ogre special rules.
Okay.
So the skull gives you fear, and you automatically pass terror checks.
Right, okay.
So park that on a bridge with your shaman in it, and basically just say, come get me. I like it. James came 3rd at Strife.
Yeah, he did really well.
Yeah. So, good player. He's obviously been playing with this army, this kind of build for, what's that? Even if like a year almost.
Well, Strife was only March.
Yeah, but he's obviously been playing before that because he had.
For sure.
Stuff, so about that.
He's got 4 ogre crossbows in that list as well.
He does. I really want to see James play against Guillermo. Just have this like clash of the titans in the middle.
It's whoever gets the charge wins.
Yeah. Dinos versus snow cows. He shaved down a few scraplings as well. I think there was probably about 20 scraplings last time he played.
Are Yetis scoring?
I could check that.
Yeah, have a look. I've got the book here.
No, they're not.
They are not, right. So he's got 4 scoring units, which is still good.
But they're Vanguard as well, so.
Yeah. Oh, they're speedy.
-1 initiative.
Yeah, light troops. So that combined with the Frost Mammoth.
Yep.
Because they've got paired weapons, they're actually initiative 4 anyway.
Yeah.
Strength 5, so monstrous infantry, so they'll be getting stomps as well.
Against the right
Yeah,
stuff.
Yetis are very good.
They're a kind of unit as well that you can either throw them up to try and force a fight somewhere, or you can hold them back, because they're quite good at just protecting your backfield if you need them.
Mm-hmm. You just need to try and chaff this list up and try and get your charges off, because apart from the ogre crossbows and the scraplings, he doesn't have any shooting.
Nope.
He doesn't have a lot of chaff himself. He's only got the tiger, really. And I suppose he can use the Yetis as chaff.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, that's very good.
That's the way I worked around it at Durham, was just because I refused to fight his monsters, basically. I took points where I could, but I ran away from his monsters. I ended up having to feed on the chickens at one point, just to keep them away. And that's how I got around that. But, yeah, I like it. I think it'll cause a lot of lists, a lot of problems.
Yeah, and because he's monsters as well, I mean, he can just go straight through the river. So he can just bypass that, so he can just get right up in your face.
That first game is just going to be so easy for him, because he's got options everywhere. He's really not limited by the river or the bridges, because he's actually forcing you to fight him in a condensed space, which is the place you don't want to be fighting ogres. So yeah, I really like this. Solid. I think this is going to do well.
So moving on to the next list.
Joe Prince.
Yep. A second ogre list.
Will I do this one?
Yeah, go for it.
So Joe's also a gentleman, lovely guy, and he gets extra points because Joe has named his characters.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
I really want to hear him shouting them out.
Oh, I bet.
Like,
Joe's so quiet though, I don't think he's gonna... I'd love it. That'd be so cool. Just shouts across the hall. Okay, so Joe got 4495, so 5 points shy, so that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I'll let him off.
His characters are... Right, this is it. Throgzor, the Pulverizer.
Nice.
Who is a great can. He's the general. He's the Troll Eater. He has the Bluffer's Helm. He's got the Wizard's Hood, which gives him access to either Pyromancy, Shamanism, or Thaumaturgy. He's got heavy armor and a great weapon for 655. His BSB is Fangris Stark, the can, who has the Stalker Standard, the Dragon Scale Helm, heavy armor, and an Iron Fist for 380 points, which is a bargain.
Yep.
His core is 6 Bruisers, full command, heavy armor, great weapons for 489. He's got 10 more Bruisers, Standard Bearer, Musician, heavy armor, great weapons for 821. For special, he's got 7 Merc Vets with full command, Dragon Skin Banner, Bodyguard, Armor Piercing, heavy armor, and Iron Fist for 990 points.
Pricey.
Pricey, but decent. He also has 3 Merc Vets with Musician, Poisoned Attacks, Vanguard, Ogre Pistols, heavy armor for 350 points. He's got a Saber Wolf, not a Saber-Tooth Tiger, for 80 points. He has 2 Yetis for 160. And then for Powder Keg, he has the Thunder Cannon, and he has 3 Bombardiers with a Standard Bearer and the Gleaming Icon, and a Musician, and light armor for 270, which is also a bargain.
I like this. He's got a nice big block of Bruisers and core. Great weapons.
Yeah, he's got
Again,
Bruisers rather than Tribesmen.
Yeah, Tribesmen seem to be the kind of default choice these days, but I like the fact that he's gone Bruisers. Strength 6 on a big, chunky unit like that. Like trying to shift that off the bridge.
Yeah, 3 attacks each. That's a lot of strength 6 counter.
Yeah, and stomps.
and stomps.
That mercenary vet unit with the banner, 990 points. That's pricey.
So the bodyguard, they've got armor piercing. The Dragon's King banner lets them reroll
ones, and their armors and their hits and stuff like that, isn't it?
So
it's like all the ones.
wounds, and armor. So that's really good. It's pricey, but it's good. And it includes special attacks. That includes these stomps. That's a nasty unit. It's a really expensive unit, but it's a nasty unit.
Yeah.
I didn't really get these Merc Vets with the pistols though. Like, fair enough, the poison attacks, but why Vanguard? I don't really understand the Vanguard.
See, this is when we say we don't understand it, and then it happens, and we're like,
yeah, Joe did this to me last time as well, because Joe brought his Orcs and Goblins to Strife, and I remember looking at the list and thinking, like, I don't know what this guy's thinking. This is a bad list. I will kill that list. And I didn't play him, but everyone else that played him just said it was a nightmare, because he just refused to
really?
fight.
He tabled me. He played me.
Yeah, sorry, he played you, and he just, like, shot you to shit, right?
Yeah, shot me to shit. He had loads of shooting, he had pyromancy, he had wrecking teams. It was just a really nice classic Orc and Goblin list where everything functioned really well. He rolled fairly consistently on the day, and it wrecked. It was cool. Cool. Not for me. I think I got to turn 3 and I had very little on the table. I think he's wrecking teams. Yeah, he rolled very
jammy bastard.
Well, I think turn 1 his wrecking team went 18 inches and went into a unit of crushers and decimated it.
Yeah, not good.
No, I wasn't happy. But anyway, we digress.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So I think
Thunder Cannon's awesome.
Yeah, he's probably got a plan that I'm just not seeing. Thunder Cannon's really good because it's one of those things that's it's multi-purpose. So it's mobile, it's tough. Also, you can't just throw crap at it because it would beat it up because it's got a big snow rhino. Bombardiers, 3 Bombardiers for 270 points is bananas because Bombardiers are really good. I would have more than just the one unit if I was an ogre player, but that's me. I think it's good. I like it. He's gone bruisers rather than the tribesmen. That's my only. I really like tribesmen, so I don't know if I would do the bruisers, but that's a preference thing, and obviously he's got a plan in his head. So
what you're paying for the heavy armor, access to great weapons.
Yeah, I just don't think the trade-offs there, particularly because Iron Fist are just
leadership
so good.
As well. Your leadership 8, tribesmen are leadership 7.
I think like the little 3-man bruiser units are cool. But
yeah, I've seen them work really well. He just seems so committed to them that I'm just like, oh, this is going to work. Like he's gone all in. It's just all bruisers.
Joe's like an amazing painter as well, so I think this army's going to look awesome. Like it's just a heavily armoured ogre army, like trudging across the table. It's going to look really cool. So
what do you think of the general build? Great Khan.
So Troll Eater is the let me guess.
Sorry, I just told you.
Yeah, so you get that's part of it though, right? Because he gets regen 4+. Does he get like +1 toughness or something as well? Because he's Troll Eater.
No, he just gets the regen, but he also gets stupidity.
Ah, right, okay.
And you get multi-wounds 2 against monstrous infantry.
But he's going to be in there with a BSB, I'd imagine. He's going to be in the Merc Vet unit. Yeah, to bring that up to 9, so that's going to be 3 ranks to 3. So he's going to be re-rolling, so he's not going to be stupid. Although it would be hilarious if he's stupid because that stops the unit from moving. But Bluffer's Helm, so he's just really tanky.
Toughness 5, reroll into wound.
I mean, there's
strength 7.
A few of the Dwarf Kings will fancy their chances there. Stalker standard, so they don't really care. They can go across the river. The Merc Vets are scoring.
Merc Vets are like 5 attacks base, aren't they?
I don't know if they're as high as that. Maybe 4?
Let me just double check.
4 attacks.
Oh yeah, they are 4, yeah. But he's got them with Iron Fists, so there'll be 5 with the Iron Fists.
Merc Vets are bananas. They're really expensive because of their grades and stuff like that, but they're so good.
Strength 5 attacks.
Like, you could have given the pistol ones accurate or something like that. I think I'm just missing something rather than.
I don't know if they're just going to be designated to be anti-monster, poison. I don't know.
Yeah. Or maybe he's thinking Vanguard solely for the peasant scenario, just to get them up and grab. grab a peasant.
Well, it won't be able to charge if they're Vanguard turn 1.
No, but you can kind of. Oh yeah, I suppose yeah.
I know what you mean. It's just that extra level of maneuverability and positioning that could be useful, depending on where everything else is. Because that's the thing with the peasants. I mean, they can literally end up anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah. 990 points though if that unit goes, because that'll have his characters in there as well.
You think you'll have both characters in there?
Yeah, I would say so.
You think?
Yeah.
It's like a 2,000 point unit. He's got a big unit of bruisers. He might stick something in there.
I'm thinking in ranks. So if you add 2 to the Merc Vet unit, that's 9, so that's 3 ranks of 3. But then equally, if you add 2 to the Bruiser unit, that's a bus, because that's 12, so 4 ranks of 3. Math, nailed it. Boom! Unlike last episode where I screwed up every sum I did.
Yeah, I like this. I think it's maybe a little bit more fragile than the other ogre list.
Yeah.
Just because the other one's all monsters and it's all high toughness and quite speedy, but this definitely has the shooting advantage.
It does, and it's still
got
got
damage.
punch in combat as well.
Yeah, between the mercenary vets and the 2 units of bruisers, and the thunder cannon as well on the charge is pretty good.
I think that's maybe a good way to think about it, that this one's probably more flexible, but it's a little bit more fragile, I think, than James's list. But still, I like it. Gets thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely. Who's next?
Next is Matt Wilson. Do you want to do this one?
Cool. Yeah, I'll do this one. So Matt Wilson's bringing his Infernal Dwarves. Exactly 4,500 points. Well done, Matt.
Baller.
Yep. For characters, he's got the Prophet, which is a general. He's a Wizard Master, bringing Alchemy, 3 learned spells. He's got him mounted on the Bull.
Yes.
Yep.
So cool.
You're obviously a fan of the Bull.
I just like the Bull, it's cool.
He's got the Lucky Shield, Talisman of Supreme Shield, and Ring of Fire, and Beshuluk's Mechanism, I'm going to go with. Don't know if that's the right pronunciation. If you're an Infernal Dwarf, you can email us.
I think Beshuluk sounds right, yeah.
Okay. He's got for fuck's sake, of a Vizier? How do you say that?
Vizier.
Vizier?
I think.
He's a BSB, Dragon Mantle, Talisman of Shielding, Charm of Cursed Iron, Razor Blade, and a Shield for 304 points, which seems pretty good. That seems quite cheap.
Yeah.
For core, he's got 2 units of 12 Citadel Guards with the Standard, Musician, Shields, and Flintlock Axes. And he's got 2 units of 20 Hobgoblins with Musicians and Bows. For special, 17 Immortals, full command, Stalker Standard, Shields, and Infernal Weapons for 510. He's got 10 Turka, full command, Gleaming Icon, and paired weapons. For artillery, he's got the Infernal...
So what was that unit called again?
What unit?
The one you just said? The special one?
Oh, the artillery?
No.
Oh, the Immortals?
No, not them. The other one.
No, you're going to have to tell me. I don't know what you're talking about. How do you say those?
I think it's pronounced Torok.
Torok?
Yeah.
Whatever. So, Infernal Artillery...
I rudely interrupted.
No, it was fine. It was worth it. He's got a rocket battery, 190 points, and he's got the Kadim Titan and an Infernal Engine with the Shrapnel Gun upgrades for 480 points.
The pain train.
What do you think of this? I've never played against Infernal Dwarves.
No, neither have I. Like, no one plays Infernal Dwarves up here, so...
This would be good.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Nick and Monroe, what was that, 2 weeks ago? And we were talking about the lists, and I said that, Matt's coming up from Durham with these Infernal Dwarves, and everyone was kind of just like, I quite fancy having a go. Like, I think when it comes to, like, pairings and stuff, it'll probably just be, like, people that want to go against Infernal Dwarves rather than match up with them as well. But I really like his list. I mean, because I haven't played against it, and I've only really been able to read the book, I feel that sometimes you really need to see things in action before you can really pass judgment on them. But I like the Citadel Guards. I really like the Flintlock Axes. I think they're really cool. How they're halberds but also the shooting weapon.
Yep.
I like the Bull. The Bull's just badass. I think it's really smart. I like how he's generals, like, tanky. He's, quick in combat, but he's also his wizard. I really like Toroks. I think they're really cool. They're, like, better, like, armoured centaurs. And the Kadim Titan's just a monster. He's so good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's the thing to give you pause. I think you need to have a good answer for that, because that's just going to eat through stuff. It's the initiative 5 that gets me. It's just the fact that it's going first against a lot of stuff.
So good. I mean, he's 600 points. I mean, I'm trying to think of monsters that are more expensive than him. A Shuriken Horror is 500 points, so he beats the Shuriken Horror. He must be probably the most expensive monster. I can't think of anything else.
He's more expensive. Well, I guess you've got like Demon Princes. They're monsters.
How much
They're
is a Demon
ridiculous.
Prince? Like just base cost?
Oh, base cost. I couldn't even tell you. I don't run them anymore because
Keeps letting you down.
I've not had great experience with Demon Princes. Base cost for a Demon Prince is 550.
Okay.
So most people, when they run the Demon Prince, though, it comes out at 1,000.
But then he's a
you're
character as well, I guess. So.
And then you've got like the EDC, which is 540 points.
Wow, is he as much as that? Okay.
That's the most expensive monster in the book.
A Gortak's like
But
400 something, so he's not even in that league. Yeah, so he
I
probably
mean, it's
is.
really good.
Yeah, no, yes. And
I mean-
the pain train's really cool. I really just want to see how the army looks.
If it's like the kind of older models, or if they're the newer ones.
Yeah,
You
just
know, the
like,
older ones with the funny hats.
I really, really like. Yeah, I'm not so much of a fan of the old ones with the funny hats, but I really, really like just the Infernal Dwarf look. Like, there's so many companies now that do Infernal Dwarfs. Like,
Yeah, I was
I
going
think
to say
Moms are just amazing. They're so cool. I think you can
that
do a
kind
lot
of
of stuff with
Persian-y
them.
style.
Yeah, I love how they've got like the goblins and the orc slaves as well. I think it just visually, like, it really looks cool. I think if I was doing an eviler army, I mean, I've got the undead, so, and they're still in a state of decay, pun intended. But yeah, I think I really just like the aesthetic of Infernal Dwarves.
So the Team Titan's 600 points. It's Weapon Skill 5, Strength 7, Toughness 6, 6 wounds, Initiative 5, 6 attacks. It does only have a 5 up innate defense though, so anything really that you're going to throw at it, I mean, it's not going to get any kind of save.
Yeah.
But it's whether or not you get to strike first or not.
Otherworldly though, so it's got its 5 up ward.
True.
Demonic instability, so combat res. I mean, it's unlikely with that amount of attacks and your stomps that you're going to be suffering from combat res.
It can actually gain attacks if it's losing frenzy checks as well.
And because he's got the mechanism that if he successfully casts spells, he can. Is it only the pyro spells? There's something like if he successfully casts spells, he can heal wounds back onto the Kadem.
He can recover D3 wounds.
That is. Oh no, that's the Incarnates. That's not the Titan.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
So yeah, so if he successfully casts from Pyromancy, so he's got his Ring of Fire. So if he successfully casts from that one and he's within 18, he can put a wound back on the Titan, which is cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's really good. But yeah, hard to say really, because I mean, I've never seen these guys in action. The Kadim, I mean, it just reads as being brutal, so I can just imagine that being good. The Centaur guys, I'm not even going to try and fucking say that word, because I know I'm just going to say it wrong now.
Dorok.
They are...
I bet you I'm pronouncing it wrong now.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully. I don't know, I was looking at this list, and I was just trying to think how I would pair things up against it.
Okay.
And like I say, this is probably from a point of ignorance, but really the only thing I'm worried about is his shooting. If he rolls well, it could do a lot of damage, and the Titan. Wouldn't really be worried about most other things.
Yeah, I think certainly for your army, because, I mean, this is still pretty much a combat army, a lot of the stuff. So, like Immortals, I don't think Immortals are really an issue for you.
Nah.
The Tauroks, I think they're good for their price, but they're not particularly scary, I don't think.
No, my chosen would eat them, I think.
Yeah.
I think I've got a good chance of killing them before they even swing.
See, I'm looking at them like thinking, like prime Knight target, like Knights hit them, kill them one turn, get in behind them.
How does the rocket battery work? Is that just like a volley gun?
No, so the rocket battery's got two firing settings, so it can either do catapult 1 strength 7, multiple wounds D3 clip wings, or it can do catapult 6 strength 2 AP 1.
Right, okay.
But if it does the 6 and it causes 25% casualties to trigger a panic, you take the panic at -1 leadership.
Nice.
So stuff like against Dan's goblins or
Skaven?
Ed's the Skaven, yeah, Robert Skaven. Sorry, not Skaven, Vermis one. That was your fault.
That was a test and you failed.
Ed's peasants or even my heavy infantry, that could potentially be nasty. It's hard to say because neither of us have got experience against Infernals, but I like it on paper. I just like Infernal Dwarves. I think this could be cool.
Shrapnel guns, how do they work?
They're volley guns, I'm gonna say.
They're the volley gun, right?
Yeah. I think that's like the steam engine, like the train.
Oh, okay.
So it's like Thomas the Tank on roids with a minigun, because it's D6 plus 2 for the volley gun. I mean, it's only range 18, but it's strength 6, multiple wounds D3, which is bananas. Like stuff like Nick's Gortak, I was going to be terrified of that unit. Because imagine that, say he rolls a 6, so 8 hits, wounded on 4, it's D3 wounds, no save, bye bye. See you later.
Yeah, that's the big downfall with the Gortak, it's just got no save.
But even the Titan, like the Titan's just, there's not many. I think Titan can go into any monster and give it a doing.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Because the Initiate 5 as well is just so
Apart
good.
from a Scourge or something like that.
Yeah.
Although he doesn't have that issue because there's not. That's one of the few armies that we don't have. There's no Demon Legions.
But stuff like the Rocker Rocks that James is running, like the Titan will just pick one of them and go for him. So yeah, I think there's a lot of potential to do a lot of hurt with this army. But I mean, there's quite a lot of bits that don't really scare me. But I don't know how much of that's just an experience against the Fire Dwarves.
Yeah. When we do the post Siege show, it'll be like, holy shit, that just totally wrecked.
I love the build though. I love his general. His general's really expensive, but I just love the idea of the flying bull. I think it's really cool.
So did you say that you have seen Matt's army before when you were down at Durham last?
No, I don't remember Matt from when I was playing Durham. But
just wondered if you'd seen the model before.
No, well, not that I can remember. I apologise, Matt, if you were at Northern Lights.
Yeah, if in case you had like a half-hour conversation with you, you just can't remember who he was.
That'd be really bad. I don't think so. I don't remember any Infernal Dwarves at Durham.
Right, okay.
No, actually, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say there was no Infernal Dwarves at Durham. So either Matt was there and he was playing a different army, or he wasn't there.
Right. We'll let you all know what that was.
Him and an idiot, Andrews. Shock horror.
So we'll go on to the next list.
Yep.
So this is Matthew Reed and the Kingdom of Equitaine.
Reigning Strife champion.
He is. So he's got big expectations. Do you want to take this one?
Sure. So,
there's nothing difficult to pronounce, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, I nailed this one. So Matt is bringing Kingdom of Equitaine this time, so he's not bringing back the Vamps. Matt is like bananas good at painting, so we're probably looking at best painted already, just because like Equitaine as well. There's so much opportunity just to really.
Yeah, I think if you can paint well, this is an army that really kind of shows off their skills.
Knights as well. I think it's just going to look amazing. But I digress. So he is at 4497, so good attempt. He has the Favour of the Grail, so that's the 5-up ward save against AP. For characters, this is I like these ballsy lists. I think Matt's got probably the ballsiest list of them all. Because he's got a Duke as his general, with the Grail Oath, a Hippogriff, the Armour of Percival, the Blessed Scriptures, the Dragon Lance, and a Shield for 660 points. But wait, there's more, because he's got another Duke with a Questing Oath, on a Hippogriff with the Talisman of Roland, the Hardened Shield, and a Great Weapon for 540. And to cap it off for his characters, he's got a Damsel, who is a Wizard Master with 3 additional spells, and Druidism. She's on a Barded Warhorse, and she is 420 points. Now, if you thought that was ballsy, it's about to get ballsier, because for core, he has 2,062 points. The first unit is 12 Knights of the Realm, with Champion Standard Bearer, with the War Banner, Shields, Lances. He has another 12 Knights of the Realm, with Champion Standard Bearer, Shield, Lances. He has 2 5-man units of Knights Aspirant, with no command, or no command group at all, just with shields and lances. And he's got a unit of 16 peasant bowmen with crossbows, interesting choice, and light armour. And then for special, he has 2 of the best units in the game, Brigands, 2 10-man units of Brigands. He has a Scorpion and a Trebuchet, and that's it.
So, Knight heavy list.
I think it's fair to say.
Yep.
Just,
what's he got? 36 peasants between the 3 units.
This is a real Equitaine list.
I think Ed's got more peasants in his 1 unit than this entire list. It's really cool. I really like the double monster, the double hippogriff characters. And their kit's pretty good as well.
Right. Do you want to have a go at guessing the kit then for these?
Why do you do this to me,
Because it's funny as fuck.
Andrew? Funny as fuck to point out how little you know about other people's army.
I ballsed up the Dwarven runes, so come on.
I think you only ballsed one up, to be fair.
It's just because I hate them so
Right.
much. Like, I just sit and read their book at night.
Right, okay. So, the Duke, first Duke,
Yep.
the 660 point
So
Duke,
the general.
he's got a 3 up armour,
Sure, I'll take your word for it.
he's got a 4 up ward,
Sure, I'll take your word for it.
he causes fear,
The Hippogriff? Yep.
he's half in multi-wounds done against them because he's got the Blessed Scriptures,
Yep.
whatever it's called. He's got the Breath Weapon, Strength 3 flaming attacks.
Because of the Dragon Lance.
He does D3 wounds on the charge.
Yep.
He's weapon skill 7, which is redonkulous. Toughness 5 because of upgrades and mounts and oaths and things.
Shenanigans.
The second guy has a 2 up armor and a 4 up ward against ranged attacks. He's strength 6, but he's initiative 0 because of the great weapon. And I think that's just the kit they have, right?
Impressive.
So pretty cool. I mean, no one's played against Matthew with KOE before, but Ed's run similar Lord builds with a Hippogriff, and even one, like Ed knows how to use them and he's super effective, so dealing with 2, I think, could potentially be a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah. Nasty. But
And you've got Druidism as well, so you can be healing wounds on them.
yeah, going back. Because he's gone, I mean, so much of his armor's in core. 2,000
Yeah.
points is bananas. I mean, they're big knight units, so he's really gone. I mean, I really like the list because he's really gone for it. You know, this is obviously a list that he's just, going to play it, and I think it'll be fun to play it because it is just, all knights all the time. But I think it's really going to struggle against certain armies. I think even with the Hippo, I mean, the general Hippo Lord's really nasty, but again, only on the charge. I think there's a lot of armies that will really attack this aggressively.
Do you think he's got more in mind just to play the game and just kind of go after his opponent and not worried so much about the objectives and just kind of deny the objectives to his opponent? Because, I mean, he's got a lot of speeds. I mean, he's got 4 knight units at old score that can go after the peasants. So that shouldn't be an issue. Does he have the Stalker standard?
He doesn't. No.
Right.
I think he's really going to struggle in the first scenario.
Yeah, with the bridge.
Because there's so many big units of spears coming that if he gets one of them, he's going to have to hit them in the face. Spears, that's not going to be good.
Yeah, I guess he's got the brigands that'll help with the camp.
Are brigands scoring though?
No, but they shoot, don't they? They're bows.
Yeah, they shoot, but I don't think they're very good. I think they're only strength 3.
Throw enough shots at something.
Yeah, okay.
Something will stick.
Got longbows as well, so
Yeah,
the range thing.
and like I say, he's fast, so you'll be able to get to the other side of the table by that scenario. And 2 flyers. Again, they don't score, but they can dish out a lot of damage.
I mean, for the camp one, I mean, he's mobile and fast enough, and he's got enough scorers to get the camp. For the peasants, same thing, that he's got lots of fast cav. Lots of cavalry, so he's fast, not fast cav. So he can grab peasants and get out of the way. I think it's really just the first scenario, the bridge one, that he's really going to struggle with, because I don't think he's got staying power.
Unless he's going to just try and
Smash
prevent
across, or
the opponent from getting to the bridge.
which is possible. He could just really push, but I think he's going to get caught. I don't think he's fast enough to get over.
Get over turn 1 and then be able to charge turn 2.
Yeah, because see, if he did that against me, I would force the issue. I would just throw a spear unit onto the bridge, because I don't care if he charges me.
He's going to have to watch as well, because the night buses are quite long.
Yeah.
He'll have to watch when he's charging off the bridge, because if he can't wheel enough to complete the charge, he won't be able to charge.
Exactly, yeah, so he's going to have to go forward all the way off.
So that's maybe a good way to prevent that, is to just chaff him up. But again, that's going to deny you access to the bridge if you can't get your charges off, if your chaff units are in front. Knights of the Realm, I think, like you say, I think because he is a very good painter, I think they'll look very good on the table.
Yeah.
But they're not amazing units, and this whole army is really designed to work on the charge. So being charged, I don't, like you say, I don't think they're going to be able to hold the bridge. When I played Ed's KOE, I think my Mauler chariot got into one of those night buses that he had.
Right.
It was like one 300-point chariot basically holding up.
Yeah, because it's not
that many points.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, certainly for the other two scenarios, I think it really is just the first scenario that he's going to struggle with. And, though, I mean, you don't even have to play his game. They get the game style he wants to play. Like, for the camp one, you could just, deploy around your camp and force him to come to you. And so what if he gets to charge? I don't think he's going to have enough hits to really break units. I mean, the peasant ones, particularly the aspirants, he can grab and get out of the way, which is good, but...
I think with Druidism as well, maybe he's planning on just regrowing the night buses.
Yeah, but then if they get bogged down in combat, you're just regrowing guys to get their faces kicked in, I think.
I think this is one of these lists we're probably looking at and we don't get until we see it on the table. Because Matt is a good player.
Well, he's the reigning champion this Strife, so as mere mortals
Yeah.
are probably missing something. I think it'll look amazing though. And I think it'll be fun to play. And that's, half the battle, I think. So, yeah.
So we move on?
Yeah. Also, just the last word on that one. It's good because of who his teammates are. So he's with Pete, who's his brother, who's bringing Empire, and he's with Joe, who's bringing Ogres. It's actually a good list to fit in there because it's fast and it can be very avoidancy if it wants. So
yeah,
it's a good thing
I
to
suppose.
have in the matchups.
Yeah, Joe. I was thinking Joe's list was quite fast, but I'm thinking of James's Ogres.
Yeah, so
That's
Joe,
with monsters.
Joe's the Merc Fest and stuff like that. So yeah. But I'm looking forward to seeing Matt and Pete and Joe again.
Yeah, they're actually all quite complimentary now that you point that out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Right, next one.
So, second Empire Army, is this?
It is. It's McDoc.
Yep. So, this is Michael Doherty's list. 4,498 points.
Good attempt.
Yep. That's getting into it.
We're like judging lists just on how close they got to the
Yeah, I know. It's like, that's 10 points out, that's shit.
That's garbage.
I'm not even going to read this out. So, characters. He's got a prelate as his general. He's on the altar of battle with the armour of Volund. Is that accurate pronunciation, or how would you pronounce that, Andrew? As the resident
is that
EOS
not a typo?
expert.
Is it not meant to be Volmond? Boom! Empire knowledge.
How should it be spelled?
I think it's got an M in there. Oh no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It's Volmond.
Oh my god.
You're editing that out.
Shamed.
Can't have the best Empire player in Scotland get that fucked up. Jesus.
Awesome. Hand in your t-shirt immediately. Right, I'll start again. We'll edit that out. So, for his general, he's got a prelate on the altar of battle. He's got the armour of Volund. He's got the Dragonfire gem and a shield for 616 points. He's got a marshal for his BSB. He's got the Great Tactician upgrade with the Ether icon and a shield. And he has a second prelate with the Charm of Cursed Iron with a shield, so he's only 196 points. For core, bear with us, there's a lot of units in core. First unit is 50 heavy infantry, full command, light armour, shields and spears. He's got a second unit with 40 heavy infantry, standard bearer musician, light armour and shields. He's got 2 blocks of heavy infantry with full command, shields. He's got 2 units of 10 light infantry with handguns, 2 state militia, skirmish and pistols, very good unit, and 15 state militia with paired weapons. So for core, he's spending 2,110 points. So is that more points than Matt's KOE?
I'm just thinking that. I'm going to go check that.
I think that's more.
It is more, yeah.
It is.
Well done,
For Suna's Fury category, he's got 20 Flagellants, Champion and Flails, an Arcane Engine with the Arcane Shield upgrade. And he has, for artillery, 2 mortars and a volley gun.
Yep.
So altogether, that's 4,498 points. What do you think as the resident EOS expert?
I think this list lacks teeth.
Has a lot of gums though.
It has a lot of gums.
That's a lot to deal with. It's a lot on the table.
I mean, Michael is a big fan of the village idiot idea.
Am I right in saying that he pioneered this?
Well, the village idiot's a 8th edition thing.
Yeah.
So it was a way of playing 8th edition Empire where you really like try and get the most out of your detachments, and you go lots of units that are all benefit from it. So Michael and Hermanard are the two guys who really push this on the forums, this kind of style of play.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like the fathers of 9th Age TVI.
Right, okay.
And he's basically tried to do that here. I've said this to Michael, I think the issue is that it's just not... He's got a lot of units, but they don't hit hard enough. I mean, he's got a lot of good things, like a 50-man heavy infantry block. It's just a lot of bodies to deal with. And it's only 570 points, so, it's pretty decent for what it is.
Yeah, you're going to, even if that's in combat with a good offensive elite unit, that's going to be holding it up for a couple of turns,
exactly.
probably.
You buff it up with the prelates and the altar, and then, you've got something that's really not going to shift, and putting that on a bridge. Imagine Matt Reed getting pulled against that on the bridge. Like, what's he going to do with all these cav? But I just think that, he's one of his heavy, like the 40-man block is just sword and board, and then his 2 support blocks of 20 are just sword and board, so they're just strength 3.
Yeah.
The parry, so they're going to be, slow to get through, but they're not going to be taking anything with them.
I suppose you can run the 20 heavy infantry blocks as the support unit, so you can do the support charge shenanigans.
I think that's the big thing, yeah, is that you lure people in, because because you would be running the other 2 units in Horde, they're so big that it's hard to charge the support units unless you're like really lined up. So you're most of the time, if he deploys it well, you're going to have to go into the big unit, and then that's when he gets these counter charges and stuff off, which is good.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with this list is going to be deployment.
Yeah.
And where he has everything, because there's a lot of units he can trip himself up with.
Mm. But Michael knows that, and Michael said it numerous times that you really make or break this list in deployment.
I mean, I certainly feel like that in my army. I think deployment's the hardest part of the game for every list.
Yeah,
but
I would agree.
Especially when you've got this many units, and for the peasant scenario, because that's the diagonal deployment.
Yeah.
You're kind of limited for space. I mean, like I say, he's got plenty of scorers, so going after the peasants isn't going to be an issue, but it's just been caught out because things aren't going to be doing a lot of damage unless he's able to get in support units for the extra combat res. I do like the guy on the altar battle. I'm a fan of that. I think that's really good, the bubble hatred.
Yeah, I would have given him the lucky shield. I know he's given him the armor of Volman to give him the plate armor.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the 1-up. But
so he's just a 3-up, 4-up, right?
Does the altar battle not give him points protection?
Oh, I don't know. Is it the other mount that doesn't do that?
The Arcane Engine doesn't.
I didn't think the altar did either.
I will check.
Maybe it does.
See, I don't run the altar, so I'm not actually sure. No, it doesn't. You're right. So, he's got his 4-up ward, so yes, he's a 3-up. No, he's a 2-up, sorry, because he's got shield and Volman, so plate armor. No, sorry, you are right, I'm talking rubbish.
So just 3-up, 4-up.
Yeah.
He's got the other altars. He's got the Arcane Engine, though, as well, for distracting. Is it distracting that gives you, or hard target?
Yeah, no, distracting. So, I think that's the best one out of the 2, because you either give lightning reflexes or hard target, and I think the hard target with the Know Thy Enemy is just such a game winner.
It is. I do like the other build, though. Like running and just go more offensive and just have like loads of flagellants, like bubble hatred, and I like the other spell that you get, the Massel bound spell that you get with the Foresight upgrade.
Yeah.
I think that can be quite cool, because you don't get any saves against that, do you? You don't get armor anyway.
No.
But volley gun's good. I like the flagellant block.
Double mortar is good as well. He played against me a few weeks ago with something like this, and I took a lot of punishment going in with those 2 mortars.
Mm-hmm.
And volley guns, I really rate the volley gun. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's really good.
Yeah, just having that part on one side of one of the bridges, I think that's going to give a lot of things pause. We're going near the bridge, you've got to deal with the volley gun. And depending on how else he deploys his stuff, you can protect it with the militia.
Yep.
Just to protect against things that are going to be scouting or ambushing. And like I say, I like the flagellants. 20 of them is a good size, and they're only 380 points.
Yeah, I like the flagellants too.
So that's a pretty nasty roadblock you've got to go through.
They're going to be good for the bridges. Just throw them on a bridge.
Yeah, it softens stuff up. But like you say, I mean, between the flagellants and the volley gun, that seems to be the two heavy hitters in the list.
And his spear horde. And then even his spear hordes.
Yeah, depending on what you're going against. I mean, spears are good, but I mean, they're strength 3, right?
Yep.
So it's only -1. I think strength 4 in spears, that's like the golden combination.
No, he's got a lot of strength 4 shots though, so he's got 2 units of the handgunners and the skirmishing pistols. So
yeah.
I mean,
so
right there, that's 40 strength 4 shots. That's not
yeah, it's pretty good.
Not to be squeamish about. So
Double mark volley gun.
So yeah, I think it's good. I think there's going to be stuff at the tournament that will not be afraid of it, like stuff like James's ogre cans.
Yeah, it's just going to just decimate it with impact hits.
Yeah, he's just going to mulch it.
Characters are pretty cheap, bar of the general. I mean, he's not expensive, but I mean, he's, twice as much as the BSB, 3 times as much as the prelate.
Yeah. I mean, his magic's pretty reliable because he's got the 2 prelates in the altar. That's the way I've kind of been running it for the last few while. It's pretty. I mean, there are some times where like I really miss not having that 3rd prelate just to spread the load a wee bit more, but it should be fine, particularly with the bubble. The bubble's really good.
Yeah. The bound spells in the book are really good.
And then the mortars are multi-purpose in themselves. I mean, the mortars will really hurt other infantry armies, but also you can use them against kind of lower tier monsters. It's good. I just think there's going to be really bad matchups for them. And
yeah,
just going to have to really watch.
Similar to the dwarf list, this is the good thing about all the Empire lists is that they are all different.
They are, yeah.
Moving on. Who's next?
So next list is Monroe Armitage, who's bringing his Dread Elves. And for characters, he has a Oracle for his general, who's a Lizard Master with 4 spells and Cosmology. For his BSB, he has a Cult Priest, who is on a Divine Altar, and she has a Lucky Shield, Executioner's Blades, Light Armor from the altar, and paired weapons for the dudettes on the altar. For core, he has 20 Dread Legionnaires with full command, light armor, shield and spears. He has 13 Repeater Auxiliaries with musician, repeater crossbows and light armor, and 2 units of 5 Dark Raiders with musicians and repeater crossbows and shields and light armor. For special, he's got a unit of 5 Dread Knights with musician champion, shield lances. And he's got 2 units of 20 Executioners with full command, heavy armor, and great weapons. And then for the Destroyer category, he's got 3 Dread Reapers.
Cool. Did you mention the Ravencloaks?
No, sorry, he's got 10 Ravencloaks with light armor, repeater crossbows.
Yeah. There's a lot on this list.
There is. Monroe's obviously got the same kind of strain of OCD as me, because he likes to do
Yeah, it's very good. I've played against this, and it just seems, like I say, there just seems to be a lot in it. Like, he's got 3 bolt throwers, which wreck my army, so that's very good. They're only 180 points each.
Bolt throwers are so good.
And then he's got the Repeater Auxiliaries with the Repeater Crossbows.
Yep.
He's got the Ravencloaks with Repeater Crossbows. It's a lot of shooting. The horrible Divine Altar thing that he sticks, and I think he's just going to put them with the spears. I think that's how he ran it last time.
Yeah, that's the way he ran it last couple of times. Yeah.
That's a bit of a nightmare because that's just an insane amount of reroll that it gives out.
It makes that unit like really long as well, so it gives them a lot of ranks.
I wonder how wide is the shrine? Is that just like a chariot?
I think it should be 4.
Just a 50 by 100.
No, because it's a war platform, so it should be 60. It's 60 or 80.
Right. Okay.
I think it might be 80.
I'm just wondering how he deals with the bridges.
No, it can't be 80. It's got to be 60. Yeah, one either side. That's right. Yeah, because it'll count as like 5 wide.
Oh, in fact, when we played this last, it was the bridge scenario that we tested. And I played super aggressive, and I got onto his side of the river. I got into combat like turn 2.
Okay.
Because I just wanted to keep everything on that side to try and mitigate shooting and to tie up the altar.
Mm-hmm.
And it went really bad. and the altar unit just devastated. I think it was the warrior block that I got into it. And I think I won the first round of combat, but he stuck, and it was just a grind, and he got through the unit, and he got over the bridge. So, yeah, you can run that with the altar and the unit. It can fit. And because the bolt throwers have got really good range, I mean, they can just sit on the other side and shoot at you the whole time.
Yeah. And
then the Raven Cloaks, they scout, so they can come on your side of the river.
The 2 Executioner blocks are really nice, because Executioners are really good against anything.
Are they the ones that do multiple wounds against infantry?
Yes.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very good, but it sucks if you're fighting against it.
Yeah, they've also got Lethal Strike, because they've got the Executioner's Blades.
It's a good list. Like I say, I played against it, and Monroe's a very good player, so he knows exactly what he's doing with the list.
Yeah, I think...
He did well at Strife as well.
He did.
So I think this is going to be a strong list.
Because he's kind of kept the core components of that list. He's just added more units, so instead of having that big unit of Tower Guard, he's kind of broke it down. So he's a lot more versatile now. And yeah, I think it's just really good. I think the key to his list is the altar. You've got to try and take out that altar one way or another, but taking it out is actually harder said than done. Because even artillery, which you would think, like something like cannons, you would think are really good at taking that out. One, you've got to make sure that you pop that lucky shield first, because that's really annoying if you forget about that.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is Dread Reapers, the bolt throwers. Like, bolt throwers are ideal for taking out enemy war machines. So, I remember I played it, I mean, it was a wee while ago. I think it was probably either just before or just after Strife. I haven't played Monroe in ages. And he shot my war machines to shit with these bolt throwers. And there's nothing really I can do about it, because they're so long range. And the only thing you've really got against that is your own. So if he gets the Alpha Strike on you, there's really not a lot you can do.
No. And he's got good protection with the repeater crossbows that he can keep back there, so if you've got ambushers that can try and come on and go for them, then you're going to have 3 bolt throwers shooting at you, and that unit.
Yeah. Actually, no, I tell a lie. I played him more recently because I had the volley gun against him, because he just shot the volley gun.
He's got the 2 units of fast cav with repeater crossbows as well.
Yeah.
They're very nice. I like that unit.
Yeah, I think it's solid. It does kind of what it says on the tin. You know, it's just... it doesn't really do anything too fancy.
Just very efficient.
Just very efficient, yeah. And it's just hard to put down. I think the key is the altar, though. You've got to try and take out the altar. And if you don't have the tools to take out the altar, I think you're really going to struggle.
Yeah, I suppose if he rolls poorly and his shooting's ineffective, but I think that's a big if because he's got so much of it.
Yeah, because you're having to rely on him not rolling.
But then he's got solid infantry with the executioners. I mean, you don't want to be sending another infantry into that, because they're going to be going first, aren't they? Because they're elves.
They're ideal at taking out enemy knights as well. Yeah, because they're initiative 5 with great weapons. It's just nasty.
Very good list. From experience, this is going to do well.
Yeah, I think it's going to do well as well, because it can compete in all the scenarios as well.
Yeah, it's got 5 scoring units.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. It's good. I like it.
Yep. Next on the list, yeah, his
half
brother.
Of the Armitage.
Yeah, Nicholas with his beast herds, 4,500 points on the dot. For characters, he's got his Beast Lord as his general. He's got the Hunting Call. He's got the Flayed Hide upgrade. He's got Crown of Horns, Throwing Weapons, and Fencer Swords for 431 points. He's got a Beast Chieftain who's his BSB. He's got the Totem Bearer upgrade, Armour of Destiny, Lucky Charm, the Beast Axe, and a Shield, 376. And his Soothsayer is a Wizard Master with Druidism, 4 spells, on a Raiding Chariot. He's got the Soothsayer Staff, he's got the Dark Rain, he's got the Talisman of Greater Shielding for 585 points. That seems amazing for that point. Really good. For core, he's got 30 Wild Horn, full command. They've got the Bloodied Horn Totem, Banner of the Wild Herd, paired weapons, throwing weapons, 550 points, and 215 Wild Horn units with Ambush, Musician, paired weapons, and throwing weapons for 250 points each. And for special, he's got 22 Longhorns. They have a musician and a standard bearer with the war standard. 528 points. 2 units of 6 Minotaurs with musician, standard bearer, paired weapons, 550 each. And a Gortak for 430.
Yep.
So we both play Nick fairly often, I would say.
Yep.
And we've played pretty much this list.
Yep.
And it is a very good list.
Yep.
It can do very well in close combat. It's between the druidism spells and the totems, it can absolutely wreck.
Yeah. I think you've got to shoot this list, I think. But Dark Rain makes it really difficult.
Yeah.
Like stuff like the Minotaurs. Minotaurs just fall apart to shooting. But the Dark Rain really protects them from, those alpha strikes. And they're fast. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's really effective. He's got ambush. He's quick because he's beast herds. So everything's like movement 5, 6 plus, right?
I think they're 5, yeah.
Yeah. Minotaurs will be movement 6, I'd imagine, because they're monstrous infantry. They'll be faster than the Wildhorns.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Soothsayer guy on the chariot's really effective. He's a really good piece of the army.
Yeah, because you can hide him pretty easy as well. I really like.
I really like it. I think the one downfall he has with this, he's got no chaff.
He's no chaff, yeah.
He's got no shooting.
And that could potentially particularly hurt with the Minos.
Yeah,
with a lot of his punch.
I think, I've played Nick, and obviously we both play very close combat orientated armies, and a lot of the time, what I find with Nick is if he gets his magic off, you're in trouble. If he doesn't, then chances are things are going to go your way.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, it's just depending on who gets the charge. The Minotaurs are very good, but my list is fortunate. I've got stuff that can plow through Minotaurs. Like, I think the 2 games we've played fairly recently, he's had a unit of those go into my chosen with the halberds and wrath mark, and both times I think I just about killed the unit before it's even gone.
Yeah.
But and that's really well with points because the Minotaur units are more expensive than my chosen block.
Yeah, the Minotaurs will destroy kind of medium infantry. Like I had,
at least
we played a couple of weeks ago, and my knight unit took one of the units of Minos off, but he got 1 unit in to all 3 of my heavy infantry units, and he won. It's just, there's so many attacks, and when you get the rerolls for Primal Fury off, it's just
yeah, that's the other thing, Primal Fury. And the bounce spells are good. There's like a really good variety of stuff in there that really complements the army.
Yeah. See, these ambushers, there's 15 of them, but they don't have any totems. And I mean, it makes them very cheap and dispensable, essentially, or disposable. But they really struggle without the totems, I think. It makes them less of a threat. I mean, they're still good for coming on and taking out war machines, and because they're 250, that's still kind of equal points trade. If they get in and if they take out a couple of war machines, then boom, that's them profit. But I guess like other units, because they don't have the totems, they're not as scary.
But they're still scoring, right?
Yeah, they're still scoring. Yeah.
So he's got 6 scoring units.
And he doesn't even need to ambush them, or does he? No, I
No.
think he does. I think he can.
Do you get ambush as long as it's a lower unit cost? The lower unit number.
Yeah, for
or do you have to
the
pay
wild ones.
Right. Okay.
They're capped. The Gortak's good as well. I think in terms of
I
points,
don't know why you wouldn't bring a Gortak.
Because he was talking to me about that. He was like, I don't know about the Gortak. I might drop the Gortak because he feels like it just attracts fire. But I said to him, if it attracts...
Did you smack him immediately and say, no, bring the Gortak?
You stupid boy! No, I think that the Gortak, even if it attracts fire, then it means that they're not shooting at other things. They're not shooting at his wizard, which I think is a big deal.
Yeah, I think that's a prime target, because, 585 points, that's a chunk.
Yeah.
And I think he really needs the druidism, because he can be growing back. The Wildhorn, unit. I've got into combat with it before, and he's just been able to grow them back, and it's just a massive pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's a really good. It's very straightforward. It's just get in your face and wreck, which I like.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything unexpected, I don't think. It's very much, here to smash you right in the face.
Say the only obvious thing I see is just a lack of chaff. Because when I've played,
susceptible to shooting, but Dark Rain helps them
Yeah.
in that regard.
But good, I like it.
Yep, I think some of the dwarf lists, the more shooty dwarf lists, will take it up on that challenge. But again, that's matchup dependent. So if you play the
I'll be interested to see how people play that.
Yeah.
How successful they'll be with getting the pairings, because I think in our community there's maybe only been a couple of people that have done that before. So
yeah.
And with there only being 3 players rather than 4+, it might make it more difficult to try and get a pairing that you want.
Yeah, exactly.
So
cool.
Moving on. Next list.
Who's this guy?
I like this list.
Do you? Okay.
I do. Well, I just do this one then. This probably makes more sense.
This is Paul's list, by the way.
Yeah.
So
okay. Cool. So it's 4,500 points on the nose. For characters, I have a Wrath Priest, who's the general. He's got the Waste Hardened Skin upgrades. He's got the Lucky Shield, Hero Sword, and the Talisman of Greater Shielding. So he's only 330 points. He's got a 1-up armor and a 5-up ward. So pretty good. Harbinger of Chaos, he's my BSB. He's got the Mark of Wrath. He has the Crown of Scorn, Dragon Scale Helm, and the Sword of Strength with a shield. So he's 410 points. So character points comes out at 740, which is amazing, because that gives me more points to play with.
Yeah.
So for core, I've got 2 units of 5 Fallen with Mark of Lust, 170 points each, and a block of 18 Warriors, Mark of Wrath, full command with the Banner of Speeds, and they have just hand weapon and shields for 610. So again, core's only 950. So saving a lot of points for the special category. So in special, I've got a Battle Shrine, Mark of Wrath. I've got 12 Chosen, Mark of Wrath, full command with the Ninetail Standard and Halberds for 552 points.
Speedy.
3 Dragon Centaurs, Musician Standards, and Paired Weapons for 468. 2 Fallen Beasts, just Mark of Chaos for 130 points each. 2 units of 5 rounds, 100 points each. Mauler Chariot, Mark of Wrath, which is 320. And 5 Knights, Mark of Wrath, full command, with the Banner of Fury, and they have shields and lances. And to cap it out, I have a Blood Beast at 315. And that's it.
Nice.
I think so.
If I do say so myself.
I'm so impartial. No, I don't think it's like world breaking or anything like that. I just really like the amount of points that I can play with in special.
Yeah.
And yet, I mean, the characters are still fairly good, really, for what they bring, and the core is very good as well. So despite the fact that it's kind of minimal allowance in both categories, it's still fairly solid, especially compared to what most other armies have to pay for that kind of stat line and kit and stuff. Because, like I say, the general's still a 1-up armor, 5-up ward. BSB's only got 2-up armor. But he's fairly good in combat. He's actually better than the general, so that's pretty good protection in and of itself. Warrior block's just really there to be a tankier block and just to kind of grind through stuff. So weapon skill 5 plus 1 a hit. It's going to be hitting most things on 2s. Only strength 4, but against the right target, that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And then the 2 units of Fallen are very good with the light troops. Mark of Lust as well. It's like that's my favourite way of running them, just for the rerolls on the charge and stuff, because they're movement 6. The Shrine I really love, just because taking the Mark of Wrath gives you the 5-up ward against magic, anything that's in 6 inches. And it's surprisingly survivable as well, because it's got 4-up armor, 4-up ward. The Chosen, that's like the blender in the list. There's only 12 of them, so they're a little bit fragile against shooting, but with the Shrine, that's pretty good protection. And because they've got the Ninetail Standard, they're given everything that's infantry plus 1 movement within 6 inches.
Yeah.
So the Warriors are actually movement 6 rather than just 4 base. And if the Fallen are nearby, they're movement 7, which is awesome. The Dragon Centaurs, I really like these guys. Just movement, 7 swift stride, and because they're boar beasts, or monstrous beasts, rather.
Yep.
They're not taking DTs like cavalry would be, which I think catches people out, which is nice.
Certainly.
And just with the paired weapon, that's just really good for going after infantry. And because they get double stomps, that's perfect. Fallen beasts for going after war machines, or just extra chaff, just the random movements, very good. I've had games before where they've effectively just claimed massive amounts of points because they can go after fleeing units.
Chase stuff down, yeah.
Yeah, just chase stuff down. I did that to Andy's Orcs and Goblins. I think I got his General's unit and his BSB's unit. And it was something obscene, like I think I captured like 800 to 1,000 points.
Jesus.
Just because he was fleeing. It was ridiculous. It was like turn 6 as well. The dogs, I generally don't like Vanguard in the dogs because I feel it's a bit of a waste. You're basically just giving away free points. People just shoot them and then they don't really need to worry about anything else because nothing's close enough. So generally just like using them as redirectors, setting up charges.
Cool.
Pretty good. Mauler Chariot's solid 2 up armor. Causes fear. Basically got 2 warriors on the back. Very tanky.
Poor man's steam tank.
Yeah, arguably. It's certainly cheaper, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then the knights, they're just the designated monster hunters.
Yeah, they're good.
16 attacks, strength 6 on the charge, hitting most things on 2s.
Bullet.
1 up armor. Cause fear. Very good.
Fucking just evaporating and the touch on the charge.
435 points as well as a bargain.
Decent, yeah.
Really good.
And
then the Blood Beast as well. Yeah, Francis is awesome. I love Francis. He does really well. He generally gets his points back in a game.
He's just good for terror. 350 points just to like force terror checks is really good.
I like teaming him up with some of the Fallen or some of the other kind of cheaper units.
Yeah, just like the Light Division.
Yeah. Because when things fail, and depending on what you're playing against, I mean, that can cause a lot of problems. I think against something like Michael's list, because everything will be quite close, but you know, there's a lot of other units that are going to have to test, because they'll inevitably be running through things. So, yeah, Francis is very good. He's dirt cheap as well. He's a really good monster for 3-1. And because he takes a lot of stats of the BSB, so he's like weapon skill 7 or something like that. The thing that hurts him is the initiative. He's only initiative like 3, I think. So you need to watch what you're putting him in against, because he's only got a 4 up armor, which doesn't count for a lot against most things. But yeah, pretty good. This is what I've been basically playing with for the last few months, so I'm quite comfortable with this. Yeah, I would say, I think that's probably why I've been running it. It's probably stayed in its current form. I've certainly been winning more and losing less badly with this list.
No, I really like your list. I think it's a product of the kind of play that we do, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
that was
I think
horrible
it's
English. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. It's a product of the environment that it's from.
Yeah, I'm going to use the word you don't like. It's a product of the meta.
Yeah, I think it is. Because
you kind of need that level of chaff. I think like at Strife last tournament, I didn't have enough chaff, and against armies like Orcs and Goblins, I just got like shot off the table.
Yeah.
They have so much to deal with, where at least this way, I've got means to go after war machines. I can set up charges. I mean, you can kill the dogs if you want, even killing the Fallen. They're only 170 points. Quite happy with the list.
Yeah, no, I really like it. There's not a lot that will kind of catch it out. I think you can kind of... It's very flexible. Like,
where it's really struggled is just against really heavy shooting in armies. So, like we talked about Monroe's list. Just against, in certain scenarios, like the bridge, I mean, if you want, he can basically just shoot me to hell from the other side of the bridge. So I can't really hang back because it's not really going to offer any protection. And against Simon's list, which we'll get to, his Sylvan Elves, they can do a lot of damage with the Pathfinders, just with the
amount of shots,
the AP shots and stuff that they can pump out. So, but yeah, generally speaking, it's a good list. It can generally hold its own in most areas, so quite happy with it.
Good. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's good. Okay.
Moving on. Next list is Peter Reed's. So another Empire list. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Peter Reed is playing with the Iron Boys, so he is on the Warriors of Westeros team. He's playing Empire. His characters come in at 925 points. His general is the prelate on the altar of battle. He's got the crown of autocracy, so possibility of leadership. He's got the skill splitter, which is an interesting choice. I'm a fan of the skill splitter. He's got the hardened shield, heavy armor, and barding for 755. He's got a marshal for his BSB, who's got the blessed armor for Frederick the Great, so the 1-up, and he's got paired weapons as well, so that's interesting. So 236 for him. He's got an inquisitor on a horse with the axe of battle, so the 6 attacks. He's got plate armor, barding, and a shield for 334. For core, he's got a big block of heavy infantry with spears, so 49 of them, full command. Light armor, shield, spears for 559. He's got 2 5-man units of electoral cavalry with plate armor. One has shields and lances, the other has great weapons for 200 and 180 respectively. And he's got 2 units of 10 state militia with bows for 110 each. For special, he's got a 10-man unit of knightly orders, full command, lance shield, so that's 590 points. He's got a unit of 5 riders with heavy armor, shields, and light lances for 170, an unusual choice. And then for the Imperial Armory, he's got a volley gun and a cannon. And then to round things off, he's got 2 units of flagellants at 21 man each, and they are 380 points apiece.
That's him. I'm sure you're a fan of the Knightly Orders selection.
I am a big fan of Knightly Orders. Actually, the kind of idea behind this list was something that I'd thought about for Siege. Having a big unit of basically a horde of heavy infantry with spear, having 2 electoral cav units to just grab, particularly for the peasants in the camp, and then having flagellants as your roadblocks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a lot of good things in this list.
So was this something that you were thinking about running somewhat similarly to your list? Because I know you had talked about the units of 5 electoral cav for claiming peasants and stuff.
Yeah, I just kind of thought that would be a good way to go for particularly the peasant scenario. To a lesser extent, the camp one. I think electoral cav really suffer. I mean, the way I was going to do them was take the great weapons. Great weapons and shields, so at least they've got the 1-up against shooting, but if you get them into the camp, then they're consistently strength 5, which will help.
Yeah, that's nice.
And they're scoring, of course. But he's gone with the lances for that one. I don't know whether that's just to have a different option. But I think, yeah, so I think there's a lot of good things in this list. There's a couple of things that I'm not too sure about, like the state militia with bows. I've tried them. I tried the bow state militia and skirmish just because they're really cheap. So you can throw them away, you can use them as chaff and that, but the pistols just do it better. I mean, the good thing about the bows is you can have them behind like a big block, like his heavy infantry. So because of volley fire, they can just support, and then they can support if stuff charges them. But
yeah,
they're just
strength 3.
Yeah, strength 3 bows. They're not really going to do a lot. Even clearing chaff, they might struggle because there's a lot of chaff that's toughness 4.
Yep.
The writers with the light lance and shield, if I remember correctly, he took these because he's basically just got them modelled like that.
Yeah, I had these for Strife because I played them game 1.
But I don't think this is, the strongest way to do your writers. But he's got the models, and that's how he wants to run them, and I think that's fair enough. And I mean, they are useful. They're only 170 points at the end of the day.
No, they're dirt cheap.
Yeah,
for some fast cav.
Dirt cheap, fast cav 3-up armor. I mean, that's all right, and they can take out certain chaff. I mean, their big weakness is it's only a light lance, so they're only strength 4. So you've really got to watch what you're throwing them in against. But they've certainly still got utility. Volley gun, can't complain. He's only got the 1 cannon. I always feel that 1 cannon's never enough. I think you've always got to team it up with either another cannon or the steam tank to really cause that threat. 2 units.
Bubble Hatred's going to be nice.
Bubble Hatred's good.
With around the flagellants especially.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a nasty little block of especially if he gets these spells off. That's the other thing that I'm not not too much of a fan of is that he's really relying on that one prelate. So like what we were saying about the other, some of the dwarf lists, that it's going to be easy to shut down if the dice don't go your way, which will really limit him.
I like the Inquisitor, the 6 attacks.
Yeah, the Inquisitor is nice with 6 attacks. I mean, if you roll well, if you roll 6s to wound, I mean, you've got absolutely no room to complain, because he's only like 300 odd points. Lethal strike, D3 wounds. I mean, that's nasty. And if he puts them in with the Knightly Orders, that's it's a solid monster hunting unit. Because you're just basically, you're hitting them really hard with the Knightly Orders, and then you're hunting for those Lethal Strike 6s with your Inquisitor.
And if he chooses to run the Prelate more aggressively on the altar, then...
Yeah, he could be supporting them and buffing them.
Yeah, just for the hatred.
I mean, I think, just because of the general setup of the list, I think most of the time that Prelate's going to be behind that heavy infantry block.
Right, yeah. He does, I mean, it's quite good, because he's got the 2 Electro Cav, he's got the Knightly Orders, and the Riders for support that can keep up. So he does have a lot of speed in the list.
He does.
Yeah. He's got a nice big horde that can go after one of the bridges. Fast scorers for the peasants. Good artillery. A cannon and a volley gunner. Solid choices. And the flagellants for just causing massive amounts of damage.
Yeah. I think this will do well in the particularly bridge scenario. I think the bridge and the peasant scenario is going to do well. So yeah, I actually think that in terms of the building lists for the scenario, I think this is a good one. I just think there's a couple unit choices that maybe it's not even better choices. It's just I would have changed the equipment up a wee bit. But again, it's probably just...
I guess it's all just points as well, because it's like what you say with the Empire. Like there's maybe good kind of optimal ways of running certain units, but because you have to pay for everything, points add up. I mean, his characters are only 925 points, so I'd say that's pretty cheap for an Empire list, which is good because it's freed up points to go elsewhere.
No, I do like it, and I think the fact that he's managed to get 2 21-man flagellant units is good as well, because they will be a nightmare. Because you just throw them and stuff. You don't really 380 points. Like, you don't care. They can hold up. Probably double their points value for consistent turns. Even stuff like Chosen. Chosen will eat through them probably fastest out of most special infantry, but they're not going to get through them in one turn. And you're going to take...
It's just their ability to strike even if they die.
Exactly, yeah. And it's strength 5. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, you don't want to be I wouldn't waste Chosen on a flagellant block. Because I probably would wreck them, but they're going to do damage to me, and I'm only running Chosen in a unit 12.
Yeah.
And I'm not risking that, so I need to find another way to deal with them. And I can't shoot them as well, so against certain armies as well, like flagellants will do really well.
Yeah.
So against Nick's B-Thirds, I think that's a good choice. Because Nick will want to get into close combat, but he won't want to get into them, because even if Nick wins, he's not going to be at full health when he comes out at the end of that.
Yeah, even like sending your flagellants into the Minotaurs. I mean, Minotaurs will eat them, but the flagellants will probably kill the Minotaurs in the process.
Yeah, you might, even if you kill 2 Minotaurs, maybe 3, maybe the back rank.
Because he's strength 5, so I think he's probably going to do more.
I guess Minotaurs don't have any armor, so yeah. That's a lot, because I mean the Minotaurs are pumping out that many attacks, even getting rid of the back rank.
Yeah, and they're almost double their points as well. So.
Yeah. No, that's really good. I do quite like this list, and like we said before, so people are probably getting sick of hearing this, but it's different from the other 2 Empire lists.
Yeah. No, it's good. I like it, and it gives the team something different as well. I think that's probably the strongest point that team has, is that they've got options.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
So our next list is Robert McGregor with Vermin Swarm. You want to do this one, Paul?
Yeah, I'll do this one. So Robert is bringing a Vermin Tyrant for his general. He's on the Vermin Guard litter. He's got the bronze breastplate with the Sword of Strength. He's got the Talisman of Shielding and a shield for 325 points. There's a Vermin Chief, which is the BSB. He's got the Stalker Standard, the Charm of Cursed Iron, the Hardened Shields, paired weapons and tail for 278. There is also a Vermin Plague Prophet. He's a Wizard Apprentice with Shamanism. He's mounted on the Pendulum with the Cauldron of Blight. He's got 2 Dark Shards and paired weapons at 786. For core, he's got 2 units of 20 Rat-at-Arms with full command. They've got light armour, hand weapons and shields. There's a block of 40 Plague Brotherhood, full command, the icon of Relentless Company, paired weapons for 600 points. And another unit of 37 Plague Brotherhood with full command and paired weapons at 528.
That's bananas.
For special, there's 14 Plague Disciples Champion with Plague Flails for 330. 1 Meat Grinder for 140 points. 2 units of 2 Rat Swarms at 90 points each. For the Tunnel Gunners section, there's 2 units of 3 Jezzails and a Dreadmill. And finally, an Abomination. And that rounds out his list at 4497. So I'm completely lost, really, when it comes to VS. Like, I've never played them, so I've got no idea what any of this actually means. Okay. So, what do you think?
I played them a few times, and I still don't really know what it all means. I think the big thing is obviously that he's gone for the Plague Prophet on the Pendulum. It's just, when you put the Pendulum in a unit of the Plague Brotherhood, it's just solid. It's a proper brick, and there's not a lot that will stand up to it front on. I mean, the big thing with the Plague Prophets is the Frenzy. Sorry, the Plague Brotherhood. So there's ways around that kind of setup, because basically you just chaff it up, you get it to run off in a different direction, you flank it, you break it. Because once you flank it, because you can't make way to the side, you know, that's just how you break that unit. But he's got 2 big blocks of Plague Brotherhood, so it makes it harder.
So the Plague Brotherhood, they are Weapon Skill 3, Strength 3, Toughness 4, Initiative 3, 1 attack, Leadership 5, but they'll be up to 3 attacks with the paired weapons and Frenzy.
Yeah. And
so Initiative 4.
Yeah, he's gone for Shamanism as well. Shamanism is really good with the.
So yeah, so he's got the Cauldron, so that means he's got the predetermined spells.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
What does he actually get with that? Let me just check. He gets Awaken the Beast, Savage Fury, and Break the Spirit.
All of those are good.
Yep, all very good spells. He gets the attribute as well, so getting Sacrification up on the Pendulum, presumably, is going to be...
Yeah.
It's going to be in the bum.
Yeah.
Because his T5, it's got 5 wounds, and a 4-up ward save.
He's just going to be super aggressive with that, isn't he? Because he's going to pop it in the unit with the Relentless icon. Or Relentless Company, sorry, and just charge it up.
Do you think he'll have his BSB in that unit for the Stalker Standard?
Yeah, I'm not sure, because he's got the Stalker Standard, and he's also got the Charm of Cursed Iron, so you would imagine that he wants that in the unit, which he wants to keep around for longer. But
so you could have both in the unit, and then you could just basically march across the river. So you've got the Pendulum and all these rats just marching right across, so you just can totally bypass that and just get in your face. And then you can send the other units to deal with the bridges.
I mean, the other units are, 20 Rat-at-Arms aren't going to do anything to anyone.
Yeah. He's got the Abomination as well, so that can just go across the river unimpeded as well.
Plague Disciples are a nightmare, because the Initiative 10. The Meat Grinder is also a nightmare. Rat Swarms, I don't see the point in having them there, just because they're swarm, and they don't really work as chaff. They can go through their units, which is quite cool, because they've got that special rule, but yeah, I'm not convinced by them.
So the Plague Flails strike at Initiative 10, and they hit automatically with Toxic Attacks. Toxic Attacks are AP6, right?
Yes.
It's nasty.
Yeah, nasty.
So they're Strength 5, because they're Strength 3 base with the Flail. Shit, they've got light troops.
Yep.
He's only got 14 of them, right enough.
I'm just checking Toxic Attack, I'm sure it's there. Yeah, AP6. Have Strength 3, AP6.
Mm-hmm. What does the Dreadmill do? Strength 5, Toughness 5, 5 wounds, Initiative 4. And it's the shooting weapon. 18 inches, D6 times 2 strength. Multiple shot 3, multi-wounds D3.
So it can really work, or it really can't, but it's 250 points. So even if you just charge it or something, because it's a chariot, D6 plus 1, it's got grinds, it's good for 250 points.
Yeah, 4-up armor. It's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good for 250 points.
It's fast as well, 3d6. Or it can be fast, rather. The Jezzails I like the Jezzails. And the thing that I always forget about them is they've got 2 wounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there's 2 guys. There's one with the pavase and there's one with the rifle.
Yeah, and the pavase gives them as a 4-up ward against shooting.
Yeah, from the front.
Yeah, makes sense.
And the Abomination, it's just, it's a good monster. Well, it's an alright monster. The issue with the Abomination is that it's toughness 5. So it's strength 6, toughness 5.
Same with the Blood Beast.
Yeah, and it's random as well, so it's 3d6 movement and 3d6 attacks.
That's horrible, potentially.
Yeah.
Strength 6, that's a ton of attacks.
Initiative 4.
4-up regen.
And 4-up regen there. So there's definitely ways around him.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's initiative 4, which I suppose is good for a monster.
Yeah.
He's stubborn. Leadership 8.
So in terms of the scenarios, bridges should be okay for him.
Yeah. He's got ways to deal with that.
The camp might be harder.
Doesn't have any artillery.
No.
He doesn't have any offensive magic with shamanism.
Yeah, he doesn't have that many scoring options. He's really just got his core. So he's Rat Arms and he's Plague Monks. I mean, he's Plague Monks, with the Relentless Company banner. It's fast, so there is the potential that it could just run over to the other side of the table.
Yeah.
But you need things to go your way for that to happen. If you're Robert, sorry, not if you're playing against Robert.
Thing with the peasants, I mean, he's got 5 scorers, right? He's got the Plague Disciples, the 2 Brotherhood, and the 2 Rat Arms.
I don't think Plague Disciples are scoring, are they?
Oh, do they not?
I don't think so. No, they're not.
So he's got 4 scorers. Thing is, though, you could be looking at that scenario from the point of view where he just doesn't go for the peasants, and he just lets the opponent, and then he deals with the opponent when they're out of position.
Yeah, totally, that could be.
Because he's got that much stuff that he can kind of simultaneously go after different sections of the opponent's army.
Yep.
And not be spread thin, because he's got that many bodies on the table.
Yeah, I think this is, it's funny, because he's in the same team as Michael, isn't he?
Yeah.
I was just thinking in my head, Michael's list would do well against this one, I think. If his mortars just go off, because he's going to take a lot of casualties coming in. If the mortars are hitting. But they're in the same team, so that's not going to happen.
He's got a volley gun as well, Michael, doesn't he?
Yep.
So that could be quite handy.
Yeah, especially against the Abomination, because toughness 5. That's prime volley.
Although I guess it's not really an issue though, because they're in the same team, so...
Yeah, so that's fine. I think it's certainly more aggressive. Like, his lists for Strife, because I played him in the last game of Strife, and he had artillery, he had multiple units of the Giselles. It was more shooting based, and he had just 3 big blocks. He just marched them up, but the issue in that game was that my mortar just didn't miss all game, so he obliterated units.
What did you win that 16-4 or something?
It was something like that, 16 or 17.
Quite convincing one.
He got points back at the end because the Plague Disciples got into something and just obliterated it. I think it was my heavy infantry.
Right.
But, yeah. I like it, it's very aggressive. But the randomness with the Dreadmill and the randomness with the Abomination could potentially not work. And then the Frenzy on the Plague Brotherhood could come back and hurt him as well. But it's so fast and he's got so many bodies that if he just throws it at someone, you're going to have to deal with it. And there's not a lot of armies that will be able to deal with something like the Plague Pendulum and the Plague Brotherhood front on. I'll be interested to see how this one does, actually.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, even going up against elite stuff, even if his opponent goes before him, he's got that many bodies, they can just soak that damage up. I think Shamanism's a good lore. It kind of complements this quite well. It can boost strength and toughness. And what were the other spells we said he had? I think he has the Frenzy spell.
Yeah, so he's got Awaken the Beast, which is the plus toughness strength, is that right?
Yep.
Savage Fury, which is the Frenzy spell, and then Break the Spirit, which is the
DTs
one, which is amazing. Really good.
Yeah.
So it's good. I think the way to beat Vermin Swarm armies is to take out their characters, because then they just start to crumple, or to catapult them, because they've not really got armor and they've got lots of bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Plague Prophet on the Pendulum isn't the general, I think that actually helps them a lot, because there's always the risk if you put your characters in platforms that they just get picked off by cannons and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So although, he's still 786 points, so if he loses them it's going to hurt, but it's not nearly going to be as bad as if it was his general. So he's just going to keep them safe, I think.
So you think that the chances are then that the two characters are going to be in different units?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I really don't know.
That Plague Prophet on the Pendulum, where do you think he's going to go?
He's going to go in the unit 40, I think.
So he's going to go in that unit. So that's a 600-point unit. So while he's in there, that's like 1,400 points.
Yeah, I think he goes in there simply because of the Relentless icon. Sorry, I keep calling it Relentless Company banner, because that makes him very, very quick. You can't use it turn 1, but it makes sure that you're in these phase turn 2s if you're not already getting charges off. So that's what I would guess anyway. He needs to keep his general safe because his general's not particularly. His general or his BSB aren't particularly tanky or scary in terms of combat.
No, they're quite cheap characters.
Yeah. So there's. I think even my bishop would fancy his chances against both of them.
Yeah, they combined are less than that one character. Yeah. So maybe the general and the BSB go in the second unit of the Plague Brotherhood.
It's just you don't want to keep that back because it's such a big unit, so you will be. Unless he just puts them in a right arms unit and keeps them behind, which is an option. But then the risk of that is that if that gets targeted by a mortar or something like that, then your general runs away and then
that's risky.
Leadership 6 across the board.
Yeah.
It's obvious what the game plan is for this list, and I think it just will depend on if he gets the little things going his way, like his random stuff coming off and.
Yeah, I suppose at that point though we're just talking about dice, and that's probably going to be the case of everyone's list.
Yep, very true. So it's very aggressive, so I think it suits the team quite well.
Yeah, it's cool. And, for a Vermin's list, it's not ridiculous. You could have way more rats than this in a list if you wanted.
Yeah, and I think the way you do the way that the forums and stuff kind of tend to... Sorry, the guys in the forum tend to play their Vermin Swarm is like just lots of shooting, and you take lots of the Plague Monks, but you take the Globadiers, and you have like this shooting as you advance, and then when you're in combat you're throwing the globes and stuff. And
yeah,
it's a nightmare for armoured armies. And he doesn't...
That Callus rule is amazing.
Yeah, he doesn't really have, those kind of things. He's got the Plague Brotherhood, obviously, but he's not even got multiple units of the Plague Disciples, so it's not ridiculous. And there's definitely ways you can get around this, but I think against the right matchups, this list will be really effective because you just throw it down your opponent's throat.
Yep. Cool.
So yeah, good.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Next one.
So moving on, Next list is Simon with his Sylvan Elves. So do you want to take this one?
Sure. So Simon's bringing his Sylvan Elves. His characters are a Thicket Shepherd for his general, who has the Entangling Vines. And then he's also got a BSB Chieftain, who has the Forest Guardian Kindred. He has the Charm of Cursed Iron and the Sacred Spear of Cadron with light armor and a shield. So the Thicket Shepherd was 360, that's pretty cheap, and the Chieftain was 366. For core, he's got 20 Dryads with a Champion, 25 Forest Guard with full command, light armor, shields and spears, and he's got 6 Heath Riders, full command, light armor, lances, and shields. For special, he's got 6 Thicket Beasts with a Champion, and then Unseen Arrows, he has a unit of 10 Pathfinders and a unit of 9 Pathfinders. For Fleet of Foot, he has 5 Briar Maidens with the Champion and Poison Thorns. And then for Forest Giants, he's got a further 2 Tree Fathers.
It's funny, we were talking about Simon's list in the first episode and how we both really liked it.
Yeah.
And then I think we were both quite surprised when he submitted this, and this is quite a bit different, actually, from what we thought he was going to bring.
Yeah, he's changed stuff. Obviously taken multiple... Tree Fathers, sorry, couldn't think of the name there. Because the original list had Wild Huntsmen as well, he's dropped them for the Briar Maidens. He's dropped the
Hawk Riders. Did he have he had a third Archer unit as well, but they weren't Pathfinders.
He just had a normal unit of Archers, which I actually think that was a good decision to get rid of them because I don't think they really added anything. And I don't think he had the Heath Riders in the original one, and I think that they're like, because he's kept them with the light lances, the Sylvan Lances, that means they're still scoring. So good for the peasants and even good for the camp as well.
Yeah, because Sylvan Elf fast cav, how quick are they? They're like movement. They're in core, they're movement 9, yeah. Movement 9 fast cav with a 4-up armor.
Yeah, it's decent.
It's pretty good. And they're 274, so they are a little bit more expensive than other fast cav, but he's got 6 of them. I think it's quite a good. It'll be, yeah, like you say, it'll be really handy for the peasant scenario.
Yeah.
Because if they get a peasant, then there's going to be very little that's going to be able to catch them if they want to just turn around and bugger off.
Yeah, exactly. You can just run them into a corner and just stay in the corner all game with them, and that's a peasant in the pocket. I mean, his big threats in this list are his Thicket Beasts, his Pathfinders, and his Tree Fathers. The Thicket Beasts are really good. I really rate them. I mean, obviously they've got the flammable, so flaming could potentially be an issue, but actually none of the lists have the flaming banner. The Empire lists obviously have access to the prayers, which can give them flaming, so you might want to stay away from the Empire list.
There's the one Infernal Dwarf list with alchemy as well.
Yeah.
But they're probably the only 2 hard kind of counter-y type.
Oh, Dan's got pyromancy as well, doesn't he? For his Orcs and Goblins.
Oh, he does. That's true, yeah.
So you would want to stay away from him. The Briar Maidens are an interesting choice. I prefer the Wild Huntsmen. I think the Wild Huntsmen are more expensive though, aren't they? Cheap.
Briar Maidens are 200 base. Wild Huntsmen are 290 base.
The reason they're more expensive though is because they've got the Wizard Conclave. So when you upgrade these champion. Yeah.
So they've got Break the Spirit and Massive of Earth. Just 2 nice spells. 4 up ward save is nice.
Tree Fathers are okay. They're not setting the world alight.
So 3 up and 8 defense, 5 up ward.
Yep.
But again, they're flammable.
Flammable.
They're only 5 wounds as well,
wounds,
actually.
Yeah. So I think cannon lists he's going to want to avoid as well as the flaming ones. I still think it's a good list. I still like it.
Yeah, no, it is for sure. Thicket Shepherd. Now, when that is in the unit of Thicket Beasts, does that...
I think, if he's got the right upgrade.
But he's got to choose whether or not they become scoring or not.
Oh, wait a minute. Because there's two that sound very similar. So there's Entangling Vines and there's something Roots. So there's Entangling Vines, or there's Entwined Roots, and I get them mixed up. So the Entangling Vines is in a challenge, opponents must re-roll successful rolls to hit against. So he's not got the Strength 5 thing for the Thicket.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Because that's how he was running them in the last list.
Yeah.
Which I think was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, something I forgot when we played, because that's the list they had when we played, and they had a peasant at one point, and they wouldn't have had that, because they would have lost the scoring, right? If they had the plus strength.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just we both forgot that. But I think this strength 5, toughness 5 really gives them teeth, whereas strength 4, toughness 5 is still really good, but strength 4 is not as impressive.
No, I mean it's the kind of the same issue I have with the once chosen in the Warriors book. The fact that they're strength 4 base, I feel you've got to really give them halberds or great weapons, which gives them issues, but I guess it depends on what you want to throw them into. Yeah. I mean, they're monstrous infantry, so they're 3 attacks base, right?
3 or 4, I think they're 3, yeah. They're certainly at the conservative end of monstrous infantry.
I mean, they'll certainly go through most basic T3 infantry.
Yeah, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, initiative 3.
Because we're getting stomps and stuff as well.
Good. And they're stubborn when they're in the forest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He had Druidism in his last list as well, which was really nice.
Interestingly, he said that he wasn't convinced on Druidism. He just felt that sometimes when you don't get the dice, it doesn't do enough.
I think that's just a symptom of magic in general.
Yeah.
Like, I think most people, you choose magic because the potential is there for it to be, so useful, and yet when it doesn't actually do anything, you just kind of think, well, that's, 500 points you could have been spending on another unit. So, I don't know, maybe it just had some bad games with magic.
Yeah. I think, I really like the Pathfinders. They're
amazing.
Expensive, but they're good. They're multi-purpose as well. Really, really. Yeah. I like them. But I'd be interested to hear why he changed it.
I don't know, because when we talked about the list after our game, I mentioned to him, you don't have a BSB. And he was kind of humming and hawing whether or not he thought he needed one. So maybe he's decided just to play it safe for the tournament and just have those rerolls.
But that would suggest that, the BSB has to go with the Forest Guard.
Because of the Kindred upgrade? Or just because that's the only place you can put them? Because
he'd be mismatching base with the Dryads because they're bigger.
Yeah, you wouldn't go in the Pathfinders because he doesn't have
a bow. I suppose you could go with the Pathfinders. I think. Yeah. I don't see any reason why not.
There's one of the Kindreds where I'm sure it restricts what unit you can join, or you have to basically be a solo character, but I'm pretty sure that's not it. So you could, but I dare say he's just going to go in the block of spears. Because he's got the Sacred Spear of Kadron on him, which is a really nice magical item.
Distracting one, isn't it, if he gets a one unsaved wound. But he's got an extra attack because he's the Forest Guard. So it's Forest Guardian, and he gets +1 strength for the spear itself. So he's on 4 attacks, strength 5. So
AP 1.
Where's he getting the AP 1 from?
Because it's a spear.
Of course, yeah.
So it's pretty good.
I mean, you'll be wanting to make sure that he doesn't just throw that Forest Guard unit against anything, because, fragile elves, particularly if he doesn't have Druid, the Zombie's got Watch, but against the right thing, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the Dryads are good.
Dryads are good.
They're a tougher unit you can use rather than the Spear if he needs to.
Yeah, they're just something that you throw at something.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I mean, we've said before, Simon's a good player. He generally has a plan with what he wants to do, so...
Yeah, no, I do like the list. It's good.
Yeah, no, it is. I think he'll do well.
Tree Fathers. Have you seen his new Tree Father model?
It's not the one that he's got like the magnetized arms.
No, he's got a new one, which is like I think he used. He's probably going to correct me next time I see him, but I think he used like a Minotaur from Mearse or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's put like Tree Father bits onto it, so it looks like there's been like a dead Minotaur that the forest is kind of reanimated.
That's awesome.
It looks really, really cool. The paint jobs
that's cool
on him as well. So.
Okay, that's cool. That's something to look forward to. Maybe you'll be in the running for one of the prizes.
Oh, I mean, Simon's army is lovely as well, so yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So moving on.
Thumbs up.
Next list is Stephen McCormick with Dwarven Holds.
Yep.
So, for characters, his general is a king on shield bearers. He's got the rune of mountains. He's got 2 runes of might. He has the rune of quickening, 2 runes of shielding, and a shield and a pistol for 618 points. There's a Thane who is the BSB with the flaming standard. So here's a list with the flaming standard. We said we didn't have one, but now we do. He's got the rune of iron, the rune of might, the rune of quickening, plate armor, and a shield for 331 points. There's a runic smith with the rune of gleaming, the rune of oaths, the rune of reckoning, and a great weapon. He has a second runic smith with the rune of resilience, the rune of resolve, the rune of swift striking, and a great weapon, and both are 247 points. For court, he's got a unit of 20 clan marksmen with full command. They have the guild crafted handguns and shields, and there's a second unit of clan marksmen, 20 strong with full command, regular handguns and shields. For special, he's got 30 Kingsguard with full command. They've got the runic standard of shielding and great weapons for 1,010 points. And finally, he's got 2 organ guns and 1 rune-crafted catapult. And that comes in at 4493.
That is a meaty unit of Kingsguard.
It is. It's the only meaty unit he's got.
Yeah.
And everything else is just going to shoot you to hell.
Yeah.
Very simple list.
Simple, yeah. He's just going to sit and shoot the shit out of you. Or he's going to try.
Yeah. And he's going to have loads of bound spells that he can cast. I think he's got all the bound spells, because there's only 6, isn't there?
Yeah.
And he's got 3 on each smith. So he's got access to them all.
The double smith's good as well, because it's like we were saying earlier, it's because the runic smiths have got their bubbles through the cast, they don't just need to cast it on what unit they're in.
Did they give the unit their own AP?
Yes, they give an AP 1, so I'd imagine that
they'll be in the marksman.
Yeah, I'd imagine so anyway.
Do handguns have AP 1 anyway?
Yeah, strength 4 AP.
So they're strength 4 AP 1, so they're not going to be strength 4 AP 2?
Yeah, so -3.
That's horrific.
Yeah. Bad, like.
Wow, that's going to be horrible against high armor targets.
So, again, this is it does what it says in the tin kind of list.
Yeah, really straightforward.
Yeah, you know exactly what it's going to do. I think it will do well if you play the game he wants to play. But likewise, if you don't, I think this has some major counters. So I think this is going to be like the kind of list that'll either 20-0 people or get 20-0'd.
Guess it depends on how aggressive he wants to be. I mean, if he's quite happy just to sit on his side of the table, and if the opponent doesn't, then he's maybe just going to settle for a 10-10. I don't know if he's going to want to move up and put pressure on.
Yeah.
or if he's going to deploy that way to force the person to come in closer, and then he can make use of the organ guns. It's just a horrible amount of shooting to deal with. But like you say, I mean, if you're running, a list with loads of bodies that can absorb that, depending on the scenario, then that can maybe go against him. So
yeah,
because I mean, it's 1 kill a unit. I mean, you can feed it chaff, stay away from it, and then you're effectively neutralizing. Well, the unit itself is 1,010 points. I dare say his king and his thane's going to be in there.
Yep.
So that's a 2,000 point unit.
Yep. If that pops, it's game over.
Yeah, or if you just stay away from it, then he's not getting any points back.
Yep.
Which means you've just really got the artillery to deal with and the handgunners. Be interesting to see. I mean, if he just does the traditional dwarf thing and keeps everything fairly compact, then it's going to be difficult to isolate anything because you're going to have that threat of the King's Guard. But if you're going to swamp him, he's going to have to choose what he goes for.
Yeah.
I mean, the bridge scenario is going to be more awkward to get to him, obviously, just because of the river.
I don't know what his game plan is going to be for the bridge either, because he's really only got the handgunners, but
you're not going to get most out of them because you're going to have them 4x5, 5x4.
Yeah, that's even if I'd imagine he wouldn't put them on the bridge right away. He'd have them like either side of a bridge.
Just march up if they're free at the end.
Yeah, but then the Kingsguard probably will just sit on a bridge. I don't know. I think it's risky. Like, I think there's a lot of armies that are going to be able to get across the river rather than the bridges.
You think maybe he's just going to put the Kingsguard on one bridge, and then he's just going to dedicate all the shooting to protect the other one?
Yeah, I mean, that would work. And then just march on at the end if you can.
Because that's 40 shots. 20 of those have guild-crafted handguns. So that's... What do they do? Is that accurate? That gives?
Yeah, guild-crafted is accurate. And they've got a 4-up save because they've got the shields and heavy armor, so... Stuff like mortars and catapults are even...
Yeah, it's going to be resilient to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's got a catapult as well to help him deal with hordes.
The catapults, the rune-crafted one, that's strength 4.
So Kingsguard, weapon skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, initiative 2, 2 attacks, leadership 9. Well, they're strength 6 because they've got great weapons. Plate armor. So does that mean when they're charged, they're not getting the benefit of shield wall?
No, because they don't have shields. Oh no, they do have shields.
They do have shields, so it's really just protection against shooting.
Yeah, but they can't use the shield.
So he's not getting a ward, so he's not getting any kind of ward save in combat.
I think so. We'll need to check with someone like Andy.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, because let's just check the wording on shield wall. If they are using a shield, so you can't use a shield if you've got a great weapon.
So you could charge in. He's going to only have... Well, he's still going to have a 4-up armor, which is very good. But he's not going to have any kind of ward save. So if you've got high strength and good AP, then that 4-up...
Horde as well, isn't he? So, or if he can. 2 attacks.
The Kingsguard unit.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Just to make sure
he's going to run...
Attack. I mean, this is like a standard 8th edition dwarf army.
Right. I mean, he's not going to be able to run them in horde on the bridge.
No, but I think this is the kind of way he's approached it. It'd be interesting. I think if you approach this list wrong, it's really going to hurt you. But I think there's certainly ways around it.
What's the range on the organ guns?
30.
30.
And the catapult's 60.
Rune crafted on the catapult, is that just +1 to wound?
No, it's +1 strength, so the big one is strength 8 and it's strength 4. AP 1, which is bananas.
Okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was just sitting looking at it like, yeah. I think the bridge one's certainly going to be the scenario he'll be looking to do best in, because I don't think the other scenarios are going to play into his hands.
Well, this is it. I mean, he's got, in effect, a quarter of his army have got handguns, which are going to be fucking useless when things are in combat.
Yeah. But
the problem is he's got very little for you to get in combat with. So the only way you can really hide is by getting into combat with either the handguns themselves or the Kingsguard.
Yeah. And I think, it could be that, Monroe and Nick have said to him, look, we just want to do a really defensive list, so we just throw you under the bus, which could potentially, because, if there's a really bad army that they don't want to play, they'll just try and feed them Stephen, and Stephen will, try and just get a 10-10 out of it. I'd imagine, if that's the way they've approached it. But
we'd never do that, would we, Andrew?
We never, no.
No, we'd never abuse a dwarf player on the list.
No. Which leads us nicely on to our final list. It's in a dwarf list as well. And this is Tim Bocknick, who is now my fellow Team Scotland coach. And he's coming up from London, I think.
London way somewhere, yeah.
which is a very nice one. He's coming up for a few games. So Tim will be joining Guillermo and I on our team. And Tim has as follows. So he has a king as his general with 2 runes of iron, the Dragon's Breath rune, the rune of destruction, the rune of fury, the rune of might, plate armor, and a shield for 500 points. He's got a Thane, BSB, with the War Standard, Shield Bearers, the Rune of Iron, the Rune of Dragon's Breath, the Rune of Infamy, Plate Armor, and a Great Weapon. He has a Runic Smith with the Rune of Iron ×2, Rune of Crushing, Rune of Dragon's Breath, he's fan of that one.
Yep.
The Rune of the Forge, the Ether Lodestone, Shield, and Plate Armor for 329. For core, he's got 40 clan warriors, full command, with the runic standard of swiftness, heavy armor, shields, great weapons. He's got another unit of 20 warriors with vanguard, full command, heavy armor, shields, great weapons. He's got a unit of... Sorry, for special, he's got 2 units of 10 miners with heavy armor and shields. Interestingly, no pistols. He's also got a unit of 10 rangers with crossbows and shields for 280. For Clan Thunder, he's got 2 steam bombers. 200 points for a steam bomber, that's really good. Oh no, it's not a grudge buster, so it's the steam bomber. Cool. So he's got 2 of them. And then for Engines of War, he's got 2 rune-crafted organ guns.
What do you think? Quite different from the last dwarf list.
Quite different, but again, I think it's pretty straightforward what Tim's going to try and do. Just get up in your face. The miners, I think the miners are a good choice just for the scenarios. Rangers are good distractions. 2 rune-crafted organ guns is just...
Yeah. They're only 325 points each.
Yeah, they're still very good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And in the big block of...
Warriors with great weapons.
Yeah. It'd be interesting, yeah.
Again, they're only going to have a 5-up armor, and they've got no ward save.
No.
I mean, if he's running the bus, I mean, they're going to have a lot of static combat res, but...
I mean, against most things, just that amount is strength 6. Oh no, they won't be, they'll be strength 5 because they're warriors. Yeah,
well, if he's running them in bus, he's only going to have, well, if there's no characters, 11 attacks. If he's running them 5 wide.
Yeah, he's going to try and get them in horde. The only time you'll run them in bus, I think, is for the bridge. I like all the Dragon's Breath runes, though, because that's the breath weapon.
Yeah, it's all the breath weapons.
Yeah, only the 1 Runic Smith, so, you know, like we've said multiple times before. Actually, why does he have the Runic Smith? Because he doesn't have any of the...
Is that just maybe for the...
For the AP?
Maybe. If he's going to be in with the great weapons.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's maybe just bringing them for magic defense more than anything, so for dispels, because he's got the Ether Lodestone on this list.
So, what one's the Ether Lodestone?
That's basically, like, he can basically use that as a dispel.
Right.
It's like a cheap dispel. I think it's like 30 points or something. I think they can have...
that's like their crown?
Yeah, they can have multiples of that.
Okay.
I believe, as long as they don't take any arcane items on any of the other characters. So there is a bit of a trade-off there, but it's quite nice if you don't want to be worried about magic.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's what it says in the tin. I think it's going to just push up and try and get in combat.
Yeah, so miners and rangers, do they both have scout? Or is it ambush that miners have?
Miners have ambush, rangers have scout.
Right, so that's pretty good. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
Steam bombers, fly 8s, they're pretty speedy. So he's got good maneuverability. He's got the runic standard of swiftness on the big block as well.
Right, okay, yeah. So the steam bombers do the D6 times 2 strength 3 hits with armor piercing 1.
Yep.
Oh,
And they've got that misfire
glorious.
thing going on with if they roll a 6.
If they roll a 6, the number of hits after the attack has been used, the shrapnel bombs cannot be used anymore. Oh, right, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, I thought you could only use it once. You can actually use it multiple times as long as it's only a 6.
Yep.
Wee. Oh man, that could be beautiful against some armies. Yeah, there's not really a lot to talk about this.
No, it's quite simple. Like you say, it's quite straightforward. What does the Rune of Destruction do again?
Destruction has left my memory.
It is multiple wounds, D3.
Oh, that's a fight.
So the king will be strength.
Strength 6.
Strength 6. Is he not just strength 5?
No, because I think he's strength 5 base, is he not?
No, he's strength 4 base.
Oh, he white. Oh, yeah, he's only strength 5.
Yeah, no great weapon.
Ugh.
But D3 wins, it's nice.
What's the rune of infamy?
That's fear.
Fear. I think fear might be my favourite special rule.
It's not when you fail it.
It's not when you fail it.
No, it's not. Especially when you're running a big Gribbly unit and it fails a fear check.
Still touchy about Dragon Centaurs.
I really am. It's like their kryptonite. Every time I know they have to, I know they're going to fail it.
They're leadership 8 as well, right?
Yeah, it's karma.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing really more to say about that one. Straightforward. Yeah.
It's good as well. I think it's because he's going to be in a team with yourself and Guillermo. It's another style of list, so it does offer a bit of flexibility when you're looking at the pairings.
Yeah, I think I'll be kind of taking up the conservative position in ours because Guillermo's just going to unleash
charge
Guillermo.
shit.
Yeah, and that's still quite an aggressive list as well. So it's maybe like a midway house between. So I'll probably be looking to play maybe a bit more conservatively and try and bring the cannons to bear.
Mm-hmm.
That's
cool.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's
19
all the
lists.
lists. Thank you for bearing with us. I know that was a long one. So before we finish up, we are going to do we're going to announce the pairings. So
We are.
Just for a quick run through, we'll go through the teams and just who was on them, or who is on them. So the first team is Scales, Steins and Stashes, and that is myself, Guillermo and Tim.
That's Saurian Ancients, Empire, or EOS, and Dwarven Holds.
It is. We have Grumble, Squeak Hole, who are Michael, who is Empire, Andy Cowan, who is Dwarven Holds, and Robert McGregor, who is Vermin Swarm. We have the Durham Raiders, so that's Matt with his Inferno Dwarves, Dan with his Orcs and Goblins, just Goblins really, and James with his Ogre Cans. We have the Warriors of Westeros, which are Matt Reed with his Kingdom of Ectane, Peter Reed with his Empire Sunstall, and Joe with his Ogre Cans. And then we have the Old Alliance, which are Ed with his Kingdom of Ectane, Henrik with his Dwarves, and Simon with his Sylvan Elves. And then the final team... Right, you...
Go on.
I don't know. Monroe, why did you choose this name? Like, why? This is... How do I... Right, okay.
Go for it.
Okay. Doviandi si Toiva Sagan. Sagan.
Sure, let's go with that.
Okay.
That's quite good. Every time I try and say it, I sound like I'm Russian.
Doviandi si Toiva Sagan.
Yep.
Sagan. Okay. Also known as Dovey.
That's a good call, actually. I might just be
Dovey.
saying that team as Dovey on the day.
Dovey are Monroe with his Dread Elves, Nick with his Beast Herds, and Stephen with his Dwarven Holds. So, we have already randomised the pairings with the help of my beautiful assistant. The pairings are as follows. So, Team Scales, Steins and Stashes are against Dovey in round 1, so that's the bridges. The Warriors of Westeros are against the Old Alliance, and the Durham Raiders are against Grumble, Squeak and Ho. And that is us. We are all set for Siege on Saturday.
Siege on Saturday.
See, brought it back. That's ours now.
Yeah. I feel like we need some sort of American voiceover commercial type guy to announce that.
Welcome to Siege on Saturday.
Yeah. But an actual American.
Yeah, not me.
But yeah, no, I think the pairings have worked out really well.
Yeah.
I think there's, do you have any kind of feelings as to...
For our pairing? Or,
just for any of them, yeah.
You know what we could do? We could do predictions.
Yeah, so predictions for game 1.
Well, obviously my team's going to trash Dovey.
Yeah, I have to say, that could go either way, I think.
Paul's not convinced.
When we were talking about this, before we knew who was going to be in the team, whether it was going to be myself or Andrew playing, I looked at all the teams, because everyone else basically sorted themselves out. And that was the one team that was a little bit I think I would have been the most nervous about playing. I think just in part because we play Monroe and Nick fairly often. I've never played Stephen, but they're all good players. And Stephen's list, there's a ton of shooting in there. Monroe's list has got a really good mix of good quality shooting and good close combat. And Nick's Beast Herds are very good close combat. So for me personally, I would like, when we were talking about potential pairings and who we'd want to play who, like I think that would probably be the one that we'd have to think about most.
I don't mind the pairing. I would have preferred it not to be the bridge scenarios for game one.
Yeah, well this is it, because you've got to bear in mind the scenarios.
Yeah, because I think
because that'll have a big effect on pairings.
Yeah, in either of the other two scenarios, I think we would have been in a better position. But because it's the bridges, I don't like that as much. But, we'll take it.
What about the other pairings?
Okay, so Warriors of Westeros, aka the Iron Boys, against the Old Alliance. I think that's going to be a good one. I think that one really depends on matchups.
Yeah, I think this is it. I think this is the same with all of them, because there's a good mix of players at various skill levels and armies. I'm wondering if Ed will want to get a mirror match with Matt.
I'd imagine that's
KOE on KOE.
Yeah. I think Matt will try and get Simon, because I think his Cav army is probably best suited to take on Simon. Probably get Henrik against Joe, because Henrik also plays ogres. I think they'll try and do that.
Yeah. I mean, Joe's got good shooting in his army.
He does, yeah. So I don't actually think that's a perfect matchup, but I think that's the one they'll probably go for. And that would leave Pete against Ed, unless Ed gets Matt.
So do you think, of that pairing, did you say that you feel that Matthew's team might opt for Matthew to play Simon?
I would say so, yeah. Well, I think so anyway.
In that case, do you think they would try and pair up Joe with Ed? Because Joe's got good shooting, which could help deal with Ed's knights.
Yeah, and he doesn't care about the peasant blocks, because he'll just eat them. It would just, he's fine.
He'll just throw the bruisers in, and they'll just absolutely destroy them.
Yeah, it'll take a while, but he'll get there.
Yeah, it might take him 4 turns. And then that would leave Peter with Henrik.
Yeah,
I think that matchup could go either way.
Yeah, I think that's the one that probably the Iron guys want. We're saying all this, they don't even know. They don't even know this one.
And then you have got Grumble Squeak Ho against the Durham guys.
Yeah.
I think I give that to the guys from Durham.
I think the Durham guys as well. I think all the Durham lists are good.
They're very strong lists.
Particularly for the bridge scenarios. I'm just going to check. I think that are the Spiders Strider?
In Forest.
Oh, is it just in Forest?
But they're monsters.
Oh, of course, yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think... Okay, yeah, no, I think Durham will take that one. In terms of matchups, probably going to try and keep Dan away from Michael because of the mortars.
I'd love to see Dan's Goblins against Robert's Verminswarm.
I don't think that's... Oh, is that a bad one?
I don't know, it might be a bad matchup. I just think that would look hilarious on the table.
Yeah, so many bodies.
There's so many bodies, so much randomness, and then that'll just come down to dice, just between the wrecking teams and the Mad Gits and where they end up with things like the Abomination and stuff like that. I think that could be pretty cool.
I think Dan might want that one. I think
He's certainly got the bodies to absorb the damage.
Yeah, I think you want James going against Andy, which is funny because they played first game of Strife.
Did they?
Yeah, and it was a real nail biter. It went right to the wire. I think
James won in the end?
I think James squeaked it, so that'll be a good rematch opportunity. Yeah.
Who would you want Michael to pair against?
I think Michael would probably want to try and... I think Michael would probably try and want to get Dan.
Yeah, I think so.
Just because he can bring his mortars to bear.
Yeah.
I think Matt is actually okay against all of them. I don't think Matt will really be
Yeah, he's got a good mix. He's got like some cheap units with the hobgoblins, and he's got some good shooting, and he's got magic as well.
The only one he might not want to play is the Vermin Swarm.
Am I right in saying his Matt's list's fairly low model count?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's got a lot of shooting. It's got combat in it. I think the idea is that he shoots you as you come in, and then he finishes you off in combat. But I don't know if that would work against the Vermin Swarm because they've just got so many bodies. Oh, it's got me excited.
Maybe I'm just thinking maybe Michael's list would be good against the Infernal Dwarves because he's got like the artillery to deal with the Kadim, and he could possibly, I don't know, maybe he's just got the bodies to deal with the shooting damage, and he's got the flagellants and stuff that if he can get into the right thing can do a lot of the damage. I don't know. It's interesting, like you say. I mean, it'll be good to see on the day how the pairings work and whether people are able to get the pairings that they actually want, because it'll be tricky because there's only the 3 people.
Yeah, I mean,
much of it comes down to that first pairing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who do they decide to drop first? And they can really try and mitigate the choice when they're pairing up against their opponent's first drop.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Oh, it's exciting. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I'm ready to go.
See, this is why I'm kind of happy not to play, because I can actually kind of see how a lot of this stuff goes down.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the same. Like, I would have been happy not to play, because I think there's going to be a lot of good games on show, a lot of lovely armies. I think it's just going to be a really good day.
Yeah, it will be for sure.
So who do you think, right, predictions, team to win overall?
Before we close up.
Just purely on lists, and purely on, well, not purely, because obviously there's 2 factors. So on lists and kind of playing ability that you know.
I think that's a good thing about the teams and how they've worked out, because I think they've all got good levels of experience. Like, where you've got, like, I'd say there's maybe like 5 or 6 people at the tournament that are less experienced than the rest of the players, but they're all kind of evenly distributed, so it's not really to anyone's disadvantage. And there's a good mix of lists within each team that, again, even someone that's maybe less experienced, they've maybe got a list that can deal with someone else's. So it's really hard to predict who I think could win overall. I think the Durham guys, I mean, they all did quite well at the last tournament. I think they pulled, was it first and third, maybe? Was it yourself that was second?
What?
It's Strife.
At Strife, no, it was Matt won overall, and then Drew got second. No, sorry,
of course.
James got second, Drew got third. Or Drew got second and James
Yeah,
got third.
right, okay.
And then
Yeah, I don't know.
Ed and me, I think.
I don't know, maybe edge it and say the Durham guys, but it's really hard to say. It depends on matchups, depends on the pairings, depends on the scenario that pairing is actually playing, depends on dice, obviously. I'd probably go with the Durham guys. I don't know, maybe that's the safest.
I would say, yeah, looking at the teams, I think going in as favourite has got to be the Durham guys, just because I think all 3 lists are really strong. I know that Dan and James are good players. I don't know about Matt. I mean, I've never met Matt, but I'm sure he's decent. Yeah.
If he's playing with that kind of community, I'm sure that he's of a good standard, because they all seem to be pretty good, pretty solid players. But it's going to be close. Like, I couldn't tell you. Like, if I'm saying I think they could win it, I couldn't tell you who was going to be second.
I mean, obviously, my team's going to be, pushing for gold.
Yeah, you've got the big responsibility to carry home. Or just not come last.
Yeah,
basically.
that's going to be the prime objective. Don't come last. Don't disgrace the nation. It's like you say, I think it's going to be really tight. Although I would say that the Durham guys are kind of going in as favourite, they're certainly not. I don't think they're going to walk it.
No, they won't.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really good.
I can't see there being more than 20 points between the top and the second, which sounds like a lot, but if you consider it's a combination of 3 people,
yeah,
that's not really that many points. It's really just like maybe 6
all it takes
points.
is one game to go really badly for your team.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really close.
I'm ready to go.
Psyched.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. So
I think the plan's going to be to do a kind of post-siege show when this is all done, and we can talk about how the games went down and how it went and how people dealt with the scenarios and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea for the next episode. But then after we get kind of Siege finished and done, we'll maybe see about getting maybe a couple of the guys on or get Ed on and we can talk background.
Yeah, I mean, it might even be a good idea to get one of the guys on for the post show because obviously we've been involved with this from the beginning.
An excellent idea.
And we can maybe get one of them on and just get their kind of input and what they thought of stuff. So that'd be good.
Or maybe even a couple of guys. We'll see.
Yeah.
What we can wrangle. Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea.
But I think that's probably us.
So if you are coming to Siege or you're not coming to Siege and you're in the area, in which case why aren't you coming to Siege? We will be down at Common Ground on Friday for most of the day. If you fancy coming and getting a training game or a practice game in before the big event. And then if you want to follow us at home and you can't make it to Siege, follow us on Twitter at Siege17 and we'll be trying to keep that as up to date with pictures and shenanigans. Apart from that, you can get us on Twitter at Scottish Wildlings or at Scottish Ninth Age. You can get us on email at scottishwildlings@gmail.com or you can get us on Facebook at Scottish Ninth Age. And I think that's us, Paul.
Yeah, man. So we'll see you guys later.
Yeah. See you in the next one.